top two women's teams expected to contend in these 2021 USA Curling Championships have yet to disappoint. Both Team Jamie Sinclair and Team Corey Christensen remain unbeaten, and this game may determine the number one seed should each make the playoffs. From the Wausau Curling Center, it's Team Sinclair versus Team Christensen on usacurling.org. Welcome everyone to the 2021 USA Curling National Championships from the Wausau Curling Center in Wausau, Wisconsin. I'm Joe Calabrese, and joining me for draw number 4 of the women's event is Director of USA Curling Development, Dean Gemmel.
Hey Joe, glad to be here again, and Luke Violette will be joining us shortly. We just saw an extra end finish that he had, so he came off the ice late. He's graciously agreed to commentate on this game, even though he has an 8 o'clock game, but he wanted to grab a quick bite to eat. But this is the women's matchup I think most of us have been looking forward to this week. Christensen, Sinclair, 2 top seeds, I think, in this event. And they're underway on our feature sheet, sheet 2.
So Team Sinclair won the hammer in the draw shot challenge. They're playing the Yellowstones.
Right here.
So both teams undefeated so far. Maybe Sinclair had the first round bye.
Just control.
7 teams in the women's field. 2 spots in the Olympic team trials in 2021 up for grabs here. 1 spot already earned by Tabitha Peterson's team. You may have seen them. Curling fans may have seen them playing in the World Championships in the Calgary bubble, where they finished with a bronze medal and secured a spot for the United States in the 2022 Olympic Games. But because they have a spot, and because they were in the bubble for some time, including playing 2 Grand Slam events, and Tabitha Peterson went and competed in the World Mixed Doubles with Joe Polo, they're not in this event. So that really opens the door, I think, for Christensen Sinclair to get those 2 spots. But clearly national championship at stake, and both teams are competitive and want to win that.
It certainly seems like Team Christensen is on a mission. Their first 2 games, line scores of 12-1 and 9-1.
Nice.
Well, those are rather convincing wins, I would say.
Yeah, they've only had to play 11 ends so far in 2 games. So,
I will say, Jamie Sinclair, if you were betting on this event, I think Kim Rime would probably be your 3rd seed. Jamie Sinclair played them, so they had a closer game. They did beat Kim Rime, but I don't think that Christensen has played Kim Rime yet. Of course, the curling world isn't huge at the elite level, and there's lots of crossover here, right? Sarah Anderson, Vicky Persinger, and Taylor Anderson have won women's titles with Jamie and Monica in the past. Jamie and Monica are 3-time women's champion. Taylor and Sarah have won 1 U.S. women's title playing with Monica and Jamie. Vicky Persinger won 2 playing with Monica and Jamie. If I try to keep all these revolving doors and moving chairs in place, it might take me a while here. So we'll keep working at it throughout the game.
It certainly seems like the top women's teams shuffled the deck a little bit, other than Team Peterson.
Yeah, Team Peterson certainly the team that stuck together the longest. I think it's fair to say that on the women's side, the top 2 skips outside of Tabitha Peterson are Jamie Sinclair and Corey Christensen on the sheet right now. And obviously, if you're an elite player, one of the things you want to do is play for the top skips. This is Vicky Persinger throwing her first rock of the game in the first end.
This is her second.
Her second stone. Yeah, I did get her name correct.
She did, yes, true. This is going to be her second takeout. We have something we like to do when Vicky's playing, particularly when she's playing second. It's a Vicky-o-meter. How many rocks she can remove in a game. It's up to 2.
So Jamie Sinclair, a bit of a new look team this year. Monica Walker played lead for Jamie for a number of years. She's moved up to third, and they've added 2 young players, Cora Farrell and Elizabeth Cousins at front end. They both come with resumes, though, even though they're relatively young players. Cora's a 3-time silver medalist at the U.S. Juniors, and she did skip a chosen team at the World Junior Bs. Floats that out a little bit, but does remove it from the rings.
You like here?
What did she motion?
Yeah, top 12.
I think Elizabeth Cousins was noticed by some elite players at the 2020 Women's Nationals, where she threw 4th rocks with Ariel Traxler and finished 3rd.
So 4 accomplished players for sure for Team Sinclair.
Mine's really nice.
Cousins and Monica Walker are both products of the Broomstones Curling Club in outside of Boston. We've had more than a few competitors in this event from there. They have a successful junior program. Elizabeth's parents, Graylin and Karen Cousins, very involved with that.
May have drifted a little bit too deep.
So looks like Monica Walker might take on this double. So here comes Monica Walker with her first stone of the first end.
It's pretty close.
Does look close. They can get that right out. They'd love to get it right out. Oh, it's just going to hang around.
Unfortunately, that was maybe 2-3 inches from being great.
So our guest has joined us. Luke Violette is here. He's fueled with a little bit of food. He had a tough extra end loss, but Luke, I think you had the finest shot of the event in the 10th end to score 2 and keep your team going in that game.
Well, thanks for the welcome, Dean. Yep, no needed to refuel after that one and take a hot shower. It's getting a little cold out there, so I was chilled to the bone. But yeah, no, we had needed to make kind of a board weight double there and 10 to take 2 and force the extra. Scott and those guys played a really solid game, and we had to get a little creative in finding ways to score points on them.
That was no average board weight double. It was a double with a little tickle was about the best he could do in the back one, and then you had to stick your shooter. It was really a terrific shot, and then Scott Dunham clutching the extra end, draws the forfeit after you forced him to that draw. He dropped it pretty much on the lid.
Yeah, I got to give props to Andy and Cody on the sweep there. That side was a little bit slower. We thought if they had to go from the get-go that they wouldn't quite get it there, and they went hard the whole way, and they got it there no problem. So it was a really big sweep out of those guys. Definitely
one of the most exciting, and although we caught the game late in it, it was some of the best curling we've seen this week. So really appreciate that, and glad that you were able to make the trip back here.
Oh yeah, me too.
And get back in front of us as we pick up Christensen Sinclair. You haven't missed much. First end relatively open, Luke, and this looks like Corey Christensen going down to throw her first. Jamie Sinclair won the last shot draw, so they have last rock in this end.
Yeah, they've been able to sort of trade hits back and forth here, and after a rollout by Christensen. So now Corey here with her first.
Whoa, no.
So, Luke, you know a lot of these players pretty well. They are of a similar vintage curler as you. Played a lot of junior championships when they were there on the women's side.
I don't know if I'd put myself in the vintage category, but I was fortunate enough to play enough junior nationals, I'd say, to be in multiple eras of junior curling, if you will. So definitely have gotten to play with a lot of these athletes at juniors.
Luke Violette is a 5-time junior champion. Skipped a team most recently to a victory in the U.S. Juniors. Played third for Andrew Stopera for 3 victories. One of those, the first one, you finished runner-up at the World Juniors. Mm-hmm. Lost the World Junior title by about an inch.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, terrific game that was.
I think they call that a silver medal.
They do.
Yeah.
They don't call it the runner-up at the world level?
No.
First loser.
They don't give you a little plaque. They call it the silver medal, do they?
Yep, something
Well,
like that.
I think Luke would call it runner-up too. But it was you guys had a great run that first time you were there.
That was a fantastic week for us. Now, I think that the real quiz, Dean, is can you name the teammates for my first junior national title?
Jake Vukic and a tall guy.
Yep, tall guy.
Who was that tall guy? Big tall guy.
Kyle Orvik. 6'8" he was.
Yes.
Still is.
And at the time you were about 5 foot.
About.
So it was an
That might have been
extraordinary
generous.
team photo.
It was an extraordinary team photo.
And I can't remember the other player
Yep,
though.
our vice was Evan McCauley.
All right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have come up with those two. All I remember is the team photo because you were, what, 14, 15 or something?
I was 14. Yep.
14, and you were next to a guy who looked like Manute Bol next to you. So
Yeah. Kyle's a big dude.
is he still curl?
Not really. He's he went to school in Montana, and now he's working as a nuclear engineer for the Navy. So I think he kind of travels around a little bit, mostly works out of Bremerton still in Washington State.
I hope the 6'8" guy doesn't have to go on any of those nuclear
He
submarines.
does. He has to go on a lot of them. So I don't know how he finds his way around there. An interesting career choice for him, but he really likes it.
Maybe we can pull him up on Zoom and you can talk nuclear physics.
Yeah, 6'8" is an unlikely career choice for curling and an unlikely career choice for working in
The
nuclear
crazy
submarines.
thing about curling with them is that when we take his split times, his foot wouldn't have left the hack by the time the rock crossed the back line. So they're very inconsistent for that reason.
You played with a guy pretty tall, Martin Sather, Dean.
I did. Yeah, Martin was 6'4", but I was, I'm a solid 5'10", so it was not the discrepancy we saw. So Jamie Sinclair has an opportunity to just whistle this one through, blank the first end after Corey Christensen hits and rolls out. So we didn't provide a lot of commentary on this end, but I don't think we really needed to.
Well, I can say that the miss seems to be wide at this point.
Especially on sheet 2 here.
Yeah.
I do want to talk to you a little bit about the sheet you just came off when we come back. Jamie Sinclair, she's going to get a look at what it does out here. Certainly on this sheet we've seen some tricky spots. Right here is a good place to get a little bit of an education.
So looked like she took about edge of the rings there, and that might have faded about 3/4 of a rock back.
And we saw Rich Roonin miss a double, sort of a similar spot there, and that's what happened.
So blank end here in the first end, and Sinclair will keep the hammer when we come back in the second, right after this.
Perfect time to get all that stuff out of the way.
The Granite Society recognizes your financial support of the USA Curling Mission by virtue of your loyalty and leadership gifts. Through your Granite Society donation, you inspire continued development of the sport, as USA Curling can fund grassroots growth and development that prepares our nation's athletes to represent Team USA on the world stage, Olympic and Paralympic Games. Join the Granite Society today.
Four.
We're back here, second end.
And bring it all the way here?
Sinclair
Yeah,
with
we
the
can
hammer
get it
playing the
there.
Yellowstones, tied at 0.
Yeah.
So
If you're
real
in,
quick,
yeah.
Luke, your take, you've been on sheet 2. I mean,
T1.
the surface here is
Yep.
pretty darn good. It's maybe not curling as much as we see maybe when we're in a typical
Okay.
arena setting for this event, but considering the time of year, the temperature fluctuations the guys are dealing with outside, the ice is pretty good, but maybe not as much curl as you've seen in past national championships.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a great explanation for what's going on. I think it's right now it's 39 degrees
I'm
out,
good.
and like yesterday was 80. So
Yeah.
Certainly some very
Right here.
challenging weather conditions for him.
Right
I'd
here.
say
Mine's
sheet
good.
2 was especially tricky. I'd say in doubles, or it's definitely it went to the wall a little
It's
bit.
moving
But
pretty good.
the ice guys they worked really hard on it, and it seems to be a lot more consistent of a sheet now.
6-4.
And just like as you said, last couple draws across the
Good job.
board, everything
Nice.
seems to be straightening out a little bit.
And it looked on the sheet where you just played that extra end game against Scott Dunham, it looked like it curled a lot more towards us here than the other way.
Yep,
Just a
and
little
part
bit
of
I
that
saw.
I think is that we had been abusing that other side of the sheet a little bit,
Got it.
So we didn't really get to play around too much. I don't think there's anything too significant
nice.
there. Throughout the
Yeah,
early
stay
parts
close,
of the game,
Vicky.
everything seemed to curl relatively
Okay.
similar. But just the last few
Whoa.
ends, we just threw center guards on that same track over and over again.
Where
and
are
that
you?
straightened it out a little bit.
Okay, well.
This is
nope,
Taylor
gotta stop.
Anderson, and if you've never
Gotta
seen the
stop.
Anderson sisters play, they're twins. So we'll keep them
Okay.
straight for you, I
Let's
think,
rotate.
even though I'm a bit of a
That's all right.
name butcher. Don't be surprised if I call him Sarah Christensen in this game. It's
I think
third game of the
it's sort
day.
of a rite of passage in U.S. curling to be able to tell the Andersons apart.
Yeah, I think I've got it down. What I haven't got down so far, Luke, if I make an error, please correct me when I jumble names. Trying to
It's
keep
rare
it straight,
for.
but it's 4 games in a day, so.
Yeah.
It's going to try to come around this corner guard.
Rocks in play this time.
Back is okay, but you got to finish. You got to curl. You got to curl.
Trying to get
Go
some
on.
late finish here.
Go on.
Yeah, Monica
Go on.
Walker trying to carve this rock
hard.
over.
Hard. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
So sort of a classic setup to an end here.
Good.
Yep, and they were able to get that relatively deep there behind the tee line. So when Corey tries this hit and roll under, it'll be behind the tee as well.
You got it.
Do you like this setup, Luke? When the center guard goes up, you throw a corner, they go behind the center guard, then you use your own corner?
Generally, it depends. I'd say this early in the game, I usually like to play the freeze around the center guard just to make sure that we're not giving them an opportunity to, as I like to say, triple stack us, right, and force Benny to have to make a really good
Whoa.
double and roll.
Just
Ben
yeah.
Richardson, your second. Yeah, and we've, you know, it's interesting. Everybody used to stack all the time. This corner guard thing is came into fashion a little bit more recently.
And this could be a potential free guard zone violation here. So you'll see Jamie try to sweep that out.
I think she's going to get it out
Yep.
easily.
That doesn't count for the Vicky meter.
I'm not sure exactly.
They are tallying the number of stones Vicky Persinger removes in the game.
Oh,
So.
no, that is not removed. so
Or you
it
could
does
give her
not
2
count.
removed there. 2 completely out of play.
How does that look?
That looks
That
slightly
looks
generous.
Very generous.
It was like,
We
One of
saw,
the more awkward parts of curling right here.
good?
we saw a real casual reset of one today. Just a real casual.
Just looped it up there.
Yeah, it was
Call
touched
good.
and then just casually knocked back without much consultation. I think they got it pretty close,
Sorry.
but
Is that
I sort
good?
of kicked on the way by, and
Fine?
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, usually when you have to start bringing out the protractor, it's a little too much. So ideally, I think ideally you can see the ring in the ice and use that, but I don't think the ice is it's not too soft, so it's hard to see that this week.
So we'll see Sinclair asked Cora Farrell to bring one in here on top of the red stone that's in the top of the forefoot.
Line's good. It's got a bit of room.
So interestingly enough, they put this team together, Sinclair, and then the
Close.
pandemic hits. So you have a new
Close,
team and you haven't been able to play a whole ton together. You've had a bit of that with your third Chase Sinnott.
Yep, exactly.
Hardy,
No,
go,
especially
hard!
definitely some things feel different. So this is a year we would have liked to play a lot. But I have been fortunate enough I spent most of my fall and winter living in Stevens Point and then driving over to the cities to practice with Chase. And since April, I've been living in the city. So I've actually practiced with Chase more than any of my teammates this year. So I think that's helped and to at least bridge
Yeah,
some of the
I
gap
like
that we missed.
Same weight.
So great shot there by Cora Farrell. Good angles right here for Jamie Sinclair.
Exactly. Wants everything angled towards the side of the sheet where her corner guard is.
I imagine this young front end probably feeling a little bit of nerves in this game. National championship, and they're playing the other top team in the field.
certainly some high expectations probably with Jamie being a 3-time champ.
Yep, hard T. Come on, T. Hard.
Just rubbed.
Okay, that's fine.
Just rubbed,
Good throw,
but
Vicky.
a decent result.
Yeah, a
Could've
little
been a
bit
lot worse.
fortunate how that came off.
Opens up the one in the 8-foot and puts one on top of the stone on the button.
Almost on the same angle. The only thing is it looks like that yellow also is directed directly at the red behind it.
Yeah, no, a good freeze here will definitely steer the angles towards Jamie's favor.
So while teams shuffle around, and there's usually not really a whole lot of animosity with team changes, it is interesting whenever you play someone who you used to play with, and then for some reason you don't. There's a certain extra level of wanting to win, I think, isn't there, Luke?
Line's good.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's
Curl a
a
bit.
situation that we're going to
Curl
find
it.
ourselves in just even more frequently as the years go on here, right?
Yeah, as teams shuffle more, and I know some people outside of the world of this level of curling wonder why there's as much shuffling as there is, but I have a theory that all teams have a shelf life.
My dad has a similar theory.
And at some point, it's best with everybody to, to really consider how they want to move on.
Yeah, I'd say about the team that, at least that I can think of off the top of my head, that's been able to really stand the test of time was Ulsrud. But other than that, usually shelf life seems to be about 3 or 4 years, which also so happens to be about an Olympic cycle.
That's true.
Whoa,
Team
hard
changes
take.
are often timed to the
Hard
Olympic
take.
cycle now.
Hard! Hard! You gotta go! Hard! Go, 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 go! Hard! Go, 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 go!
Big carve from Taylor here.
Looks like Sinclair sitting 1-2 now.
Yep. A lot of rocks behind the tee line, but still the 2 guards in play.
Or you can just go to here.
Yeah, I think so, right?
What? Yeah, if not triple.
Yeah. Yeah, even if I'm open.
What?
Even if I'm open.
On this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Anywhere in here is good.
Jamie, Monica just discussing the best spot for this rock here.
Jamie's one of the female skips. I like listening to her conversations in the rings. She's smart tactically and has a good thought process usually.
Absolutely. She's very articulate, and I think her and Monica are starting
Top
to
four,
develop a bit of
line's
repertoire.
good.
They've played with each other long enough
Straight.
now that you can hear it when they talk.
Hard
Right? There's
line.
that extra added layer
Hard
of comfort.
You know, Monica was in the booth before, and she talked about having the new role as a vice.
Tight to the guard here.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
And she sort of said, as a lead, your expectation is sort of to
Little tight, huh?
shut up and throw, and she said to have find her voice at vice.
Yep. I think you for sure
Yeah,
make
certainly
these go.
finding a
Yes,
good back-end
yeah. Try to
synergy
make
is one of the
this,
more
but if you just make
difficult
the
but
roll, that's
important
okay.
parts of manufacturing a top-level
like
curling
firm
team.
or normal?
And it's something that I guess our teams
Okay.
have been not necessarily struggling with, but we've been having
And you want the
difficulty
intern?
getting it just right over the last
I
couple
was
years.
thinking this way.
And it's definitely,
Okay.
it's a unique
Just double checking.
situation for communication, and definitely takes a lot of work and kind of the right blend of personalities to get it just right. Sarah sounds like eyeing up this triple back here.
Yeah, they might
Close. Yep.
all spill.
Hard. Yep. Hard.
Yep, just about 2/3 here to 3/4 high.
Looks like she's a little thick right now on
go,
how
go.
she's going to hit this.
Okay.
And rolls
Pretty
it right
good.
next to it.
And undercover.
Yep.
Undercover, but behind the
Point
button.
top.
I
Yep.
like it.
Should have this
Back line.
out turn tap here though.
Even
We
back
saw how the
low.
last one
Okay.
moved. So Jamie's saying back line, even minimum, go a little less to back 12. Monica just rubbed on her last one.
Oh,
Heard hack out of hand, so probably heavy.
whoa.
They can run on this sheet when you're a little heavy, but
Absolutely.
Curl. Curl.
This is
Curl.
close.
the line doesn't look terrible. It will
Whoa.
carve here.
Roll.
Now I think she's trying to hit her own.
No.
Okay.
She was hoping that maybe she could carve over and flop a little bit in front of their stone.
And I
The
think
red
just
stone.
room it pretty much where we want to hit it.
Yeah,
right?
good weight call from Elizabeth
Yeah,
there. That
any
told
sweep
Jamie
or
right
anything,
away it was
we
heavy
should
and
go.
kind of
Yeah.
allowed them to maybe get
got
a
it.
slightly better result than they would have otherwise. Yeah, but definitely, any championship curling ice is going to be weight
control.
sensitive, and certainly as it straightens out here, there's not a whole lot of margin for error on
control.
these soft backline and hack weight
Yeah,
shots.
I just need to believe it.
So this is going to have to cross the face a little bit for the double.
Yep.
Corey saying she has to believe it
Yeah.
in terms of the broom.
I still think
Sometimes
this ice is
that can be a challenge when you're on a sheet that is a little trickier.
Yeah, and another challenge here is if you're not used to seeing negative ice on upweight shots, right? That's an added barrier.
Close.
Textbook
Yep,
delivery
yes.
for Corey Christensen.
Here. Yeah. Hard tee. Hard tee.
Lots of encouragement there. Big sweep from Taylor Anderson.
Didn't make the double, but did remove most dangerous stone there. But
Christensen's line 3 now.
Getting by the guard was big there.
let's hear Jamie's discussion here.
Yep. I'm thinking just normal.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, we don't need to overthrow this.
I think it's like this.
Yep.
As you mentioned, they are sitting 3, so they don't necessarily have to make this double. They're not very. It's not a likely scenario that they're going to score that back stone of theirs. So they want to bump the weight down to just normal here.
All right, normal. A good normal, but still just normal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good
it's about
normal
a
means
quarter.
not less than
the
normal.
Third maybe. Should be pretty straight from what I've seen.
It's a quick scoreboard update on sheet 5. They blank the first, so 0-0. And on 4, the same, blank in the first. So not much to update you on.
Sheet 4 is Traxler and McMakin. Sheet 5 is Strouse versus Rhyme. 7 teams in the women's field.
Whoa. No. No, no, no.
I think she's wide early.
Looks like she fed it back a little bit, but it's closer than...
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
Little roll, little roll.
Roll on top would be pretty good.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Still
very
Christensen
close,
sitting
yeah.
shot rock.
Still a pretty good heads-up line call for Monica there, right? So you got to hit it slightly thicker there to get just the natural roll rather than the double and spill up.
Yeah, just like this way. The angle's a little better, huh?
Yeah, just if you think you can get by with 3.
I know.
But this is your draw pass, right? This is
Right.
your draw pass?
Did leave it in a spot where Christensen really can't really risk moving it.
No.
My draw path was right here.
Yeah, we went like
And I
6
just
inches.
curled
I
up
believe they're
here, so
comparing
I
to
think
her last shot draw path.
Yep.
here.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's on the other side of the center line. So she's going to tighten it up a little bit from her last shot draw when she was trying to cover the pin.
Just want to corner freeze here and
Just freeze it right in
eliminate
there.
any room that Jamie could have to score.
This is just a couple inches less than my draw path. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I think so. Yeah.
Vicky Persinger won on the left there, won the mixed doubles national championship with Chris Plies just last weekend. Corey Christensen.
Oh, easy for line. Easy
can,
for line.
easy
Whoa.
can.
Whoa, don't kill it. Whoa.
Want to make sure they're not jumping
No.
these and pushing them out early when this is a little
Whoa.
straighter.
Talked about that earlier, how brushers have to be patient.
Whoa, you can't. Whoa.
Looks like
She's
she's
trying to
still
come
on
off
that
the guard here.
They're going to try to carve it over.
Hard on the way. Hard. Go, go, go.
So there's probably just enough of a hole there for
What kind of weight
Jamie
do
to
you
come
think?
in.
Looks like she's
Well, I think
going
she
to
has 2 options here.
looks like she's going to play this
if
in turn.
that,
I think it
right?
does
'Cause
look
I want
easier.
my shooter to stay
I would
in
agree.
here in the 8 foot. Yeah, just
They
back
could
line.
also come through the hole with the out turn
okay,
and just
so
bump
like
the red
this was
straight
my
on. But at that
LSD-ish.
point, that's a significantly more difficult
So
shot. So
maybe
she'll just
this?
play this in turn here, just enough weight to tap it enough to sit to.
So she's taking about a broom and a half less than her last shot draw. That's how she explained it to Monica Walker.
Contact. Yeah. How's the speed?
It's quite fast.
Okay. Like faster than LSD?
I think a touch faster, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Just gotta make.
Elizabeth articulating
go.
that the ice has sped up a little bit since the last shot draw.
Deep breath. Focus.
If I was listening correctly, I didn't hear any times. So their communication focuses more on feel.
Jamie Sinclair trying to score 2 here in the second end.
Close.
Whoa! No!
Close.
I think it's close.
Whoa!
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa!
Curl.
Little confusion over who was responsible for the curl side.
Good
Is
shot.
it going to stick around?
It's going to be
Good
just
for the
one
single.
here.
And that's an added awkward layer in the communication here. You see teams going back and forth, especially this year, starting to see the sweeper that was on the inside switch to the carve rather than switching whole sweepers.
All right.
So Sinclair picks up a single here in the second end. We'll be back with the third right after this.
Great, the show's starting.
Come on, just trust me. Oh, trust you, like with the dollar oysters.
I don't think those were oysters.
You survived, so...
Wait, we can't go that way.
Watch this. They'll think we're VIP. Wow, he does think we're VIP. And backstage. Trust me now?
I never doubted you. I did for a second, but it's gone now. I trust you.
The all-new Sienna. Toyota, let's go places.
So we're back here. Third end, Sinclair up 1-0. Let Luke finish any thoughts he might have had at the end of that last end.
Good.
My apologies for trying to squeeze it in at the end there. It's been a bit of a change, I'd say, over the last year or so.
Overcurling a
That,
bit.
it used to be when you bring in your other sweeper for the carve and actually change who was sweeping the stone. And now you're seeing a lot of teams just having the sweeper that was holding it straight just pivot, and they take the carve. And it seems that Team Sinclair has been getting kind of caught in the middle there between Cora wanting to come in and take the carve versus Elizabeth making the pivot.
The pivot, the carve. It's a whole lot of new stuff in brushing these days. Are you doing any of the backwards brushing that we see like Team Botcher out of Canada do?
No, we are not doing any of the backwards brushing. But, I see what they're trying to do there. Haven't had a whole lot of time to experiment with it.
Right.
But, at this point, I think you're far enough away from the stone that I don't think it does a whole lot. But it might be something that we try in coming months.
I tend to think that. I don't know if it's that effective, but A for effort when you do it.
Just don't trip.
Okay.
So the center guard goes up, a little bit off the center line, and Christensen answers with the corner guard. And now Jamie Sinclair will ask her lead, Elizabeth Cousins, to throw the intern draw around this, hoping for top 8.
Line's good.
And that corner guard did come quite tight to the ring, so it is going to be difficult to come around on the straighter ice.
Gotta go for weight, 2, 3.
Hard.
Also noted there's some challenges. Most teams have had some challenges managing the red rocks on this sheet.
Yep, they are trickier than yellows for sure.
And like I've said on every webcast we've done, I think the championship rocks we have here at USA Curling are really a terrific set of rocks, but if there is a challenging set to me, it probably is. These are the sheet A if we're in an arena, red rocks.
Yeah.
I'm going to record that and put it in an official disclaimer every time we talk about those rocks.
Yeah, I'm dating myself. My last nationals was 2016, but that's my recollection. I don't even know where my old rock book is. But this week it certainly seems that we saw it in the mixed doubles and we've seen it in this event.
Go if you can.
And certainly any rock issues are going to be more challenging earlier in the week when you're also unfamiliar with the ice. So now as teams become more familiar with the ice, they'll get a better handle on the rocks.
So around the corner guard.
What about going off the one? What?
They actually got quite a bit of that buried, probably a little more than I thought. It was
do this.
nice that they threw back house weight there.
You can move it over. Just hack.
Well, Jamie references tolerance. She means that if you're going to miss this shot, coming off the guard and rolling on is the preferred way to miss.
Going to be tough to do a 5th rock of the end.
Yes. Safe. This is where weight control's big.
Yep.
If it's just the right amount of weight, you can do it a little bit without kicking it all the way out.
Yep. Back line.
Of course, it's interesting too, Luke. At some point, I think teams can talk too much about the pro side miss and stop making shots.
Absolutely, and it's certainly kind of a transition in the continuum of your development in curling. Especially back when I curled with Jake, we focused a lot on pro side just because we were so young. At that age, even if you could just stay on the pro side of the miss more often than not, that was going to be enough. But then once you try to get more towards that higher level of play, thinking too much about pro side, it's still a miss, right? And so having the miss in your mind, it means that you're probably a little less likely to actually make the right shot. And so transitioning from still being able to have that idea of pro side in your mind when you throw, but being able to focus in on the make.
It's a great explanation for junior and developing curlers.
Hey, not junior anymore.
No,
1 year out.
I'm saying for junior and developing curlers who are listening to this
I got you.
From a 5-time junior champion.
Feels like I'm still a junior. We've hardly played any games since I've been out.
Here comes Vicky Persinger.
It's growing facial hair now, Dean.
Lucas, yeah. Well, I've been around Luke as he's grown and matured. It's been he's a civil engineer now.
Almost. Got a couple weeks left.
Yeah, it's online, so nobody's paying attention anyways, Luke.
Can add myself to that list at this point.
See if this sticks around at the back. We'll just hang on.
Same thing.
So those rocks don't look all that threatening until you're faced with shot for 3 with the hammer. Going to be important for Sinclair to get one around those guards.
Yeah, they're not threatening as long as you keep making here, right?
Yep. So this is a big shot.
Yep. You can see the ice, not a ton here.
Line's good.
3.
This sheet does tend to
Gotta go.
curl more towards us, this side.
Line's good.
Calling tight guard out of hand, so they need to sweep hard to get this one in the rings.
Finish. Curl. Curl,
They're
curl,
getting more
curl.
enthusiastic about it. Now they're switching to the curl side.
Barzil, go, yep.
It's like the weight's close. They just need to get the finish.
Go. Hard finish.
Close to being really good if it finishes.
Good sweep. Good.
That should be pretty
Great
good.
Sweep.
Well played. Good team execution there. They jumped on it as soon as they could.
Looks like she might
Maybe
have
even
a
less.
quarter of a rock here.
Yeah. Might.
How often have you told your front end in this event to not jump it when you get in the hack?
Not very often. Our boys are pretty good about it,
this is
and
my first
they communicate weight very well.
Just like
so
back 12.
in the case that they do need to go, they let us know right away, and we can usually get that switch that little bit earlier. Likewise on this shot coming down, and say if they were able to switch or at least move towards the carve, I don't know, like 8 feet earlier on the sheet, they would have probably got an extra quarter walk buried there. But it's also, I think, gotten a good bit straighter over the last 2 games, so that might be more and more of an issue as we progress throughout the week.
Yep.
Comes Vicky Persinger.
Whoa. Yep.
Chris Plyes described her as a gamer.
Yep.
That'd be accurate. She played very well against us in the
Whoa,
semifinal.
whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. No. Okay.
Pretty good throw.
Yep, and now all those rocks in the outside parts of the rings are adding up.
Adding to the anxiety level, so Jamie Sinclair is going to take care of one here and try to roll under.
Close. Yep.
Should point out that Monica Walker is using the
Whoa.
Gold Line Black Curl Magic brush handle.
Whoa. Yep.
Designed by my good friend Deb Martin,
Yep.
who's leading the Icebreakers program with me.
Like the run now. You like the center one?
That was a great shot for Monica.
That was big.
Maybe a little bit of magic on that one.
You like fern?
There you go.
Or even normal?
It's a great cause. The proceeds from that broom will go to the organization of Deb Martin's choice.
Yeah.
And she wants it to go to our Icebreakers program.
It's going to take some work from Sarah and Corey here to bring those outside rocks into play here.
Sarah Anderson.
Vicky. Well, Tay, just peel it. Yep, Tay.
So they're settling for the straight peel.
Okay.
It takes a lot of discipline to be able to take tight enough ice on these upweight shots here. You really do need to take about a half rock negative with a positive release.
And that's a little different than usually we play on this kind of championship ice, and you can throw it pretty confidently positively and make a lot of shots. I always say on most championship ice you can be wide and make a lot of shots.
Yep.
A little different here this week. You have to be a little bit, you can't quite.
Line's good.
A lot of spots you can be positive, I think, but certainly not across the whole sheet.
You certainly usually always be positive. You just have to manage it well and plan
split
for
center.
it.
Line's fine. Line's good.
Whereas normally
no, it
with a big scratch and
Just
maybe like 5 feet of
easy.
swing, it's just if you're
split
not
center.
positive, you're going to miss.
A little bit. Yep.
Yeah, that's an accurate description of it.
Yep. Hard.
Sometimes they give recreational curlers a chance to play on the championship ice right after it goes in. thinking it's a little bit too green. It's always always fun to watch that.
One of my favorites is at my first Optimist U18 up in Toronto area. We played at the Weston Country Club, and they had a sign when you walked out on the sheet that says, if you do not throw 3 or more rotations, you will miss your shot.
Yes, hard.
And I think that was accurate.
That's great.
Okay.
I do know you adjust your release a little bit from time to time. In this game here, this feature game, you talked about softing one a little bit on the release to get a little more curl out of it.
Yep, I think it's important. It definitely takes some confidence in both yourself and the ice to be able to understand exactly how much different it's going to react. But if you can have that level of confidence, there are some shots that you'll definitely have a much larger margin for error, or even will be able to make that weren't possible before if you can do it.
So Jamie is going to try to wrap one around here. She gets it.
So come around, top 8.
There you go.
Seems like minimum ice.
Yeah, she has to convince herself.
Don't mind a shade more.
She's going to ask for a shade more.
Top 8, guys. Whoa! I think it's there. It's got a
Jamie,
curl. Got a curl.
Positive release to the broom.
Room.
Sounded wide out of hand.
Oh, it's curl.
Yeah, maybe a little extra positive. I think it will start to finish eventually here.
Yep.
If you can.
They need to at least get it edge to edge.
Right here.
Finish.
Right here. Finish.
Curl.
Oh, it's coming in very nicely here.
Easy. Sit.
It's perfect, Monica says. Oh, it sits.
Fraction deeper than they might like it.
Still pretty good.
But still pretty good in terms of
I think that same
making these lurking red rocks at the back, keeping those from becoming part of the score. Although Corey's going to line this up. Let's hear what she thinks.
I think
she's going to go for it here. If she makes this perfect, she will be sitting 3. And it also is going to open an out-turn draw for her.
Firm that Sarah was throwing. Yep. Well, yeah. Right where you throw it.
So she figures give this a go. She sticks it. She's going to have a chance to score 3 or 4. If she just peels it out, she's still going to have the button to draw 2 with her out turn for 1.
Also a good chance it comes off the yellow in the forefoot, comes off the other yellow and goes on to her own red. But certainly worth a go. Give this a go and try to rearrange the house.
Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard. Yes. Hard. Okay.
She wasn't wide out of hand. No. She gets the nose hit, which presents an opportunity here for Jamie Sinclair.
Unfortunately, wide was the pro side miss, if you will.
Okay, so I gave your guard about
big opportunity here
so
for
just
Jamie.
a shade more. Don't need to play it too cute.
No.
Even if she is only half buried here, it's going to be, there's not going to really be a clear path for Corey into the button.
Yeah, if she's half buried,
sounds good.
Just even biting button or top 4, it's going to be hard for Corey Christensen to score.
No deeper.
Might have to almost throw that in-turn draw just inside of that other yellow that's shot right now. But if you notice, Jamie's team, they came pretty tight to the guard when they played that, so there might not be a whole lot of room there.
Jamie Sinclair, last rock for her in the 3rd end.
Whoa. Easy. No.
Let it work.
It's heavy early.
Nope.
No.
Never. Nope.
Definitely doesn't want to be deep. Should come off as it the weight should come off as it starts to carve over.
I know you're scared. Shot.
Oh, just good enough there.
It's pretty good.
Yep, if Corey comes down right on top of that, Jamie will still be sitting 2.
Yeah, it stops just about an inch in time.
So a difficult choice here, and it looks like she's automatically going to, for the out-turn draw, just try to graze past that yellow one there and get as much of the button as she can.
She'll probably be happy here if she only gives up 1.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost need a piece of the button.
This is a tough shot here. She's got to be right on the tee line, and the line has to be close to perfect, especially for 1. But even to hold him to one, she
sweeping,
doesn't have a
yeah.
whole lot of
Yep.
forefoot to work with here.
Just out a little bit more than what we've been throwing, so.
Corey
I
Christensen
think so too, yeah.
needs a piece of the button to score and full forefoot to hold Jamie to one.
Price, stand by. After the next break, we're going to go to you.
Line's good.
Rock's
Line's
on its
nice.
way.
Got room. Room, easy, easy, easy. 14-7. Stay close. Yep. Whoa, easy, careful, careful.
Weight is close. Can she get it to finish up a bit here?
Needs to stop.
Yep, and that will be a steal 2 for Team Sinclair.
Yep.
So Sinclair picks up 2 here in the third, takes a 3-0 lead into the fourth, and we'll have that for you when we come back after this.
USA Curling aims to provide continued programming to grassroots, junior, and diversity and inclusion initiatives. Support the future of curling in the United States by making a donation at usacurling.org/donate.
And we're back here, fourth end. Sinclair with a 3-point lead over Christensen.
Line's
I'm hoping
a
my
bit
man
tight.
Price is ready for a price check because I skipped him in the third end. See if he's ready over there. Price, are you available?
I think he's texting.
He's a little
so
distracted right now.
so
All right.
we're going to stick with this.
That's
He's
fine.
really curling.
Yep, go ahead.
He's got to do a full price lookup here before he can do the price check.
Top four, top four, top four. Or side four, side four, side four.
Keep going, keep going. Good sweep.
Well, with the 3-point lead here, Jamie's going to come right into the rings.
Good weight over curl a fraction, but key thing there is to be top forefoot. Corey Christensen will put up the corner guard or ask Taylor Anderson to put up the corner guard.
2-3. Line's nice.
So the Andersons and Corey Christensen played against each other a fair amount in junior curling.
Yeah, they sure did.
Some pretty epic matchups from what I remember.
Yeah, looks
Absolutely.
good. Really nice take.
So usually I was a little preoccupied
Good.
during some of those matchups, but got to hear him yelling on the sheet over.
So Jamie Sinclair will ask for a tight guard from Elizabeth Cousins.
He's a very well placed corner guard as well.
Nice.
Should be just enough room
Line's
to come
good.
around there fully buried.
Don't want to be too tight here,
Three's
though.
good. Line's good.
Yep.
Too tight and you leave
Nice
the
and
roll
tight.
under.
Line's good. Easy, easy, easy. Running. It's got to
With
curl.
a tick
Benny.
under, I guess.
It's really running.
It's really hanging here.
Nope.
Could be a little heavy too.
Close to being in.
Good judge.
Well, if there's this, if you weren't going to want to cover it, that's the side you wanted to be on because they can't roll into their corner. But they're going to throw up another one anyways.
So it looks like they're going to stack the corner guards
Close.
as opposed to split them
Close.
on the
Line's
sheet.
good.
Okay, they're just coming around
Line's
here.
nice.
Oh,
Close,
straight come
Vicky.
around. There we go.
Only line. Okay. Oh, you're good. You're good. Yep, if you can.
It's back 8. Back 8.
Go ahead. Yep. Go.
Not as worried about the weight. They
Good.
want to make sure it's fully buried.
Perfectly okay to be behind the tee line on these.
Yes.
Nothing, eh?
Little tap.
I don't mind guarding this one for now.
I like it.
Just a 2.
Yeah, good speed here.
So they're playing this guard. Not really an ideal setup here for Jamie Sinclair, but not terrible yet.
Line's good.
2, 3.
Okay.
Of course, sometimes you jump out to a 3-0 lead early and you focus so much on protecting a lead, you forget to, there's still a lot of curling left.
Yeah, no, especially after coming off mixed doubles, these 10-end games or 11-end games for us earlier today, they really drag along.
Okay, good.
So what's your take on 10 ends versus 8 ends as a format?
So, you know, I think without a doubt for the betterment of the game as a whole, especially the televised game, we need to go to 8 ends, make it a little bit shorter. But as an athlete, I want the game to be just longer.
Yeah.
I prefer the longer game. I'd take 12 ends, honestly, especially when we're at the junior level. We felt that the longer the game went, the better our chances were.
Here?
I think you've nailed it there, though. I think
it's either
one
this or you
concern
just
at the
make a
higher
double field.
levels is, let's hear
like
what Corey
this.
says here.
Let's make it.
Cut her off.
Board or hack? Okay.
One thing at the higher levels is a lot of teams get concerned about how the ice breaks down in a 10-end game.
Yep, and that's I think that's where our ice crews really excel. The ice here has really not broken down much. I'd say the last game when we got to the extra, it did a little, but it still wasn't very significant. And then in doubles, I don't think there was a single game where we noticed that it broke down at all. And having ice to be able to stay that consistent for that long period of time is something that we kind of take for granted. And once you start playing in Worlds Championships, it's very rare that the ice can hold up for that long.
Easy,
so our guys do a really great job.
Hey, yep. Whoa, whoa.
Taylor holding the straight side.
Good shot.
Nope. Just chisels the one in the forefoot.
Rolls to the corner.
I think you play this with back line. If you come off of that and roll a center, that's okay. Back line.
Coming up in the 5th end break, it's Nick Wagner. Plays for, sorry, I'm Chet Brundage.
Good save, Joe.
Thanks. 3rd game today, 4 yesterday. Starting to lose it.
Yep. Hard line. Gotta go. Hard line, yes.
Elizabeth Cousins sweeping hard for line.
Hardy.
Looks.
Hardy.
Big
And great scrub. Now Monica comes in to finish it. Carve it over. Great brushing.
Great sweep from Elizabeth.
That's why you pick up a young player.
Or 2 of them.
Or 2 of them.
We're here.
Seems to be a common theme these days.
Whichever one you like for. I don't mind here.
Yeah, really important to get that one by. Once those are tricky shots because once you decide to go all in for the sweep, if you ever just graze the guard and don't kick it all the way out, that's the worst miss, right? So it's always once you decide to go all in, you want to make sure you get it by.
Certainly true.
Definitely, she would have had the option there to switch to the carve and just make sure you get the guard all the way out.
Vicky Persinger will try to make a little better one around the corner guard. Not that that was a great shot to remove that, but she's not light.
Yep, certainly a little bit on the wide side.
And running a little bit because some extra weight. Now it's starting to work over.
Yep, you gotta go. You gotta bury
A
it.
big
Yep.
finish from Taylor here.
Yep, all the way to the end. All the
Getting
way
better.
hard. Go.
Yep, and
Okay.
this is going to the wall here, so I think we're seeing just a little bit more finish than other parts of the
Just
sheet.
this.
Yeah.
Got that almost fully buried.
Yeah.
It's awfully
Great effort.
similar to the shot they just made. They need to make again. I think she just, Jamie asked for back line. Wait.
Cora just made hers, now it's Monica's
Whoa,
turn.
whoa, whoa, whoa. No.
This might be set back just a little bit.
Curl.
Yeah, it's got to curl a long
She's
ways
going to
here.
call for the curl side. It's got a lot of real estate to cover here.
It's trying.
Here we go.
Hardy,
Both
hardy.
Vicky and Cora working on the carve.
One drops off.
Just grazed it.
Or the right?
So decision
do you
time for
have
Corey
here?
here.
Less.
Yeah.
Right there.
I'm just worried about the jam. Good
A few rocks in play
Yeah.
over in Troxler McMakin.
I don't mind mind that.
It's actually the fourth end, but the score is correct.
Traxler throwing last rock here. It looks like they're lying possibly 2. They have last rock. This isn't the last rock of the end, though.
15-3 here too, right?
Looks like third's last, perhaps.
I think so. I think third's last in Traxler McMakin.
Mine's nice.
Mine's a little wide, guys.
Pretty sure Anna O'Hara is still
Can't say I was
throwing
too
last
can.
rock.
Whoa, you got lots of room, girls.
Yeah, it looks like they're using the same lineup
Where are you?
they did earlier today.
Tees rock.
No bounce.
Right to it.
Certainly have Christine
no,
McMakin in
lots
some
of
trouble
room.
at this point.
Mine's getting better. Right to it. Yep. Yep.
guys.
Go, 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 go.
Taking the line now.
Good sweep.
Let's hear what Jamie thinks.
Okay.
Just tuck it under a bit so they don't have either one.
Yeah.
I don't think getting to the point in the end where it's guarding for your life,
don't mind
as I
it
say,
here
although
more.
she's not in
Sure.
terrible danger by any means.
Even a
Not
little
terrible,
more.
but the yellow can suddenly find itself lonely.
No. And there will be that lonely angle run back for the 3. Worst case scenario for Corey.
Line's good. Three's good, guys.
Likes to throw it of hand. They're looking
Line's
for
good,
3.
close.
Tight to the
Tight.
rings, not in.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep.
Gotta get
Yep.
by that one.
Hard. Hard.
Hard for line here. They can't wreck on that guard. I think they're by it.
Finish.
Oh. Good.
Pretty nice shots
No.
by Monica
You
Walker.
gotta play this.
Yeah.
I think that's same firm, Sarah.
Sure, and just nose, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're talking yellow, yellow, red, yellow.
Exactly.
Yeah, Corey Christensen electing to play the run
Which
back
turn do you like?
I was thinking the
with
end.
Sarah
Okay.
Anderson's last rock of the end.
Looking for right on the nose here, if I heard him right.
Over on sheet 5, it's a tie game, 1-1, Strouse and Rhyme.
Clean.
Traxler,
Whoa,
McMakin,
whoa.
Traxler.
Yeah.
Team Traxler weighing their options.
Hard.
Looks
yeah,
like Delaney
hard.
Strouse just made a hit and
Yes.
stick for 2.
Nice, Sarah.
Oh, beauty
Yep,
there.
great shot from Sarah. And is that going to sit? Just does.
I think it does.
Nice throw.
Good call on
Really
that.
nice.
Thanks, coach. Yeah, I threw control in it.
Yeah.
No, I threw normal. It was edge of 4, but
Yeah.
it ran real straight.
So I know that the coaches can have interactions with the players now that they're on the ice and rules to change a little bit. I'm wondering, is this a permanent rule change or just a COVID-related rule change?
Just,
I believe it's a
thick
permanent rule change.
Hit and roll.
Yeah, I'd agree with Luke there.
Normal.
You know, I think that the Slams have been experimenting a little with allowing complete coach interaction all the time. As it stands now, it's supposed to be just kind of between ends. But you know, I think everyone kind of knows each other here, so there's always the opportunity for banter.
Whoa.
Jamie Sinclair trying to hit and roll big.
Yep.
I kind of like the idea of full coach interaction. You're timed anyway. What's the difference whether the coach is involved or not?
Yeah, I do too at the highest level, but I think at juniors
Whoa,
it would make
hard.
a huge difference. At that point, I think strategy still is a really important part of the game, and if you had a coach, you could just bring on a coach that knew everything. I think that would make a little too big of a difference.
So here's a counterpoint to that I heard
Yep.
once from
Okay.
Jason Gunlickson. So his point was that kids like him, Jason Gunlickson, kids like you, grow up at a curling club, know the game inside out. And then you have this inherent advantage against a kid who might turn into a great curler because he or she is a great athlete, but has no idea how to play the game. So his thought is you want those kids playing, so have the coach be able to make as many calls as you want. I'm sort of with you, just illustrating the counterpoint made to me by Jason Gunlickson. I don't know if you ever talked to Jason much, but he's an interesting guy with lots of ideas about curling.
Just a little
Yeah,
more,
yes,
Sarah.
that is a good point. No, I
Maybe even
appreciate
a hair
that.
more.
I still think as an athlete, you need to be able to learn that yourself.
I'd agree with you, and I think you learn quicker by getting beat up a little bit and figuring some things out.
Absolutely, and I think most of the learning can still happen after the game. right? And hopefully you have a good enough of a culture to where your opponents will help you out a little bit too.
So here's Christensen's first stone of the fourth.
Whoa, whoa. Close. Vic. Close. Vicky. Whoa, easy. Close. Close, Taylor,
Like it so far.
Hard, Tay.
Line looks good.
Vicky. Hard, Vic.
Now they're going to switch to carve it over.
Okay. Shot wasn't there.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and that explains it all.
Like,
Perhaps
you could do
maybe
this,
a
but-
little heavier than she wanted, but not much. And
Yeah.
When she says the shot's
I
not
mean,
there,
The drop.
It was a
maybe.
pound heavy, I
Yeah.
think, but not a
Do
lot.
you think just here?
yeah, I mean, they absolutely papered the
Yeah.
guard, did as well
Yeah.
as they could with how it was thrown,
I'd say that.
and just still couldn't quite make contact there.
And now Jamie Sinclair has a great opportunity to apply some serious pressure.
Big opportunity here. Again, Corey's going to have a really awkward draw path if this is made well.
Similar to the last end, actually, in terms of creating a
So,
difficult draw
what do you think on
path.
this side? Same as
I think
the
it'll be a
intern
little
last
easier
end?
than last end, but not much.
You could leave this short, too.
I was thinking that
Okay.
as well. Making her throw that intern is going to be
Like top
difficult.
4 is great. Top 8's fine. Just try to get it as buried as we can, really.
But I think Jamie has some confidence that Corey kind of at least has the 4 foot
Yeah,
in her
you
back
got it.
pocket here, so she wants to put another
Okay.
one on the butt.
Top 4, guys.
She did say top 8, top 4, so top 8 isn't bad, she says. She's going to work hard to make sure she's not heavy, of course.
Key things to block the path.
She did say fully buried. I think she can probably show a little bit of this stone,
Oh, easy.
Yep.
which actually might be advantageous to half bury it.
Yep.
Although would
Line's
probably,
good.
if
Whoa.
it was like edge on edge,
Yep.
there would be a slash for one. That'd
True
say it's
enough.
probably easier than the cold draw out of the tee.
Whoa.
Needs to work over a little bit. Looks a little bit solid.
Yeah.
They might want to take this right by.
And it will.
Meanwhile, in the game 2 sheets over, Christine McMakin is facing a challenging situation.
This is her first rock of the end.
Trying to. It's her second and final shot of the end.
Oh, is it? I could have sworn I saw one.
So is this hammer coming for Traxler? Looks like she can
Oh,
hammer
I'm
that
sorry.
high side and maybe score 5.
She did put it into the pocket, but there certainly is.
I don't know if they're looking at that. No, guards, yeah, pretty sure she can hammer the red that's on the side, our right-hand side of the 4 foot there, a little bit high side and kill both those
The
yellows.
hairless.
But I think they're going to try to just nose this. I'm not sure.
I hope they're trying to at least hit it on the angle there to bring some.
Last rock for Christensen on the way.
I'm not sure if they're
Line's
seeing the slash there.
So Corey Christensen does have a draw path. She does have the
Line's
button
good.
available.
Easy. Vicky, if you can. Line's good.
Vicky Persinger
15-1.
trying to work it over.
Easy, girls. You don't have backing.
Right to tee.
Whoa.
Looks pretty good.
Good judge.
Well thrown, well swept.
Confident sweep from Taylor and Vicky.
So last stone coming over by Team
It's
Traxler.
on the way right now. Let's see what the result is. They had McMakin in trouble all end. Oof.
Yeah.
Picks up 2.
Yep, nose
2.
hit for 2.
So we're going to head to our feature game into the 5th end with Sinclair with a 3-1 lead. And we'll have the hammer when we come back after this.
Innovation, style,
and performance.
The G50 has it all.
I love the speed and comfort.
And they're so light.
Wow, this is light.
It offers the choice of Teflon thickness.
That's best for your level of playing.
Beginner or pro?
The G50 line has a shoe for you.
The quality of the shoe is great.
And they're really comfortable.
Sleek.
Stable. Secure. It's a gold line.
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 And it's the choice of champions.
So we're back here.
Good.
Sinclair with a 3-1 lead over Christensen. You know, so many times we see the fifth end sort of set a new momentum in a game. What do you think Christensen needs to do to kind of change the momentum here?
I'll throw that over to Luke.
Well, just gotta stick with it. It could be tough, but as we mentioned, these 10-end games they're a long time, right? So the big thing is you don't need to overreach. You don't need to try and play out of your mind. Just stay steady. Throw a corner guard, go for deuces, go for forces. You're still in a position where you can take 2, force 1 throughout the rest of the game and win. So you don't need to do anything crazy.
Line's good.
Centerline guard goes up. Jamie Sinclair asking Elizabeth Cousins to play the come around with her first.
Top 4. Line's good. 5. Top 8.
Top 8's good.
Yep. Top 8 right here, guys. Yep.
Looks like they're going to have to work it to get it top 8.
Go hard. Good.
Pretty nice throw.
Oh. Looks like might have got a piece. The 8-foot, still a good shot, especially on the straighter ice.
That's fine.
Saying when I played lead on that shot, I was always felt okay if I'd rather half bury that than just tickle the guard.
Yeah, especially here. So they discussed coming around with the out-turn back button, but they're elected to play another center guard here.
Well, then just over. Line's nice, just over. In the middle. Just over.
I think for Corey Christensen and her team, they can sort of feel they're only down 2. I mean, they don't have last rock and they're down 2, but they faced they haven't really challenged in any end, so they may feel like they're down more than that. Sometimes you have to remind yourself to take a good look at the scoreboard.
Absolutely. It is, and I catch myself doing this all the time. It's very easy to feel like you're down more than you are.
Nice. Should be good. Keep your brush down.
Rarely do you feel like you're ahead more than you are.
No.
Certainly have that problem too.
Usually when you're ahead, though, you're more worried about being on the wrong end of an epic comeback.
Back
yep.
Just 6, 7. Okay.
She can work this over.
Keep going.
I think it's 6, 7. I'd love it to be a little higher than that.
Okay.
Forced with the decision to either be mostly open or behind the tee. They're both.
Yeah. So I think.
Sounds good. Yeah, I like that.
Vicky's gonna have a chance to make a pretty good freeze here.
She needs it though.
Yep.
She does need to make this.
Sort of a classic mixed double shot.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah.
Almost the opener.
She's thrown plenty of those recently.
Line's nice. 6.
So Luke Violette playing with Aileen Geving. They also punched their ticket to the 2021 USA Curling Mixed Doubles Nationals, making the semifinals.
Yep, Tay. Hard,
at last weekend's event.
Hard, Tay, right to it.
Yeah, we had a really good week. It's our first time playing mixed doubles together. But Eileen and I, we really clicked. We had a really good time, and we're very excited to be able to play in trials this fall.
Did pretty well for a team with Target uniforms, Target store uniforms.
Slightly better than that. We were there, Sport Techs. There's.
I only joked because you were joking about them.
No, we're proud of it. I think we spent the least amount of money in the field on uniforms, and hey, we still made the semifinals, right? So.
Good enough.
Whoa. All the way. Thanks, Corey.
So single peel. Trying to clean up some of the middle there.
Like another one?
Corey Christensen asking for another centerline guard, high centerline guard.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep, just going to want a straight guard or her shot rock on the button.
Oh yeah, we'll stay close on that. Rip this rock.
That's the Team Christensen coach Wayne Anderson behind them there.
Very experienced coach. Can't think of too many events I played in where Wayne wasn't there.
Yeah, with his daughters playing about the same age as you, playing a lot of junior events.
Yep, I think their first Optimus U18 was also my first in Toronto.
No.
In 2011.
2011.
Okay.
About 10 years ago. Time flies.
Same thing, Cora.
Might be able to get everything moving here.
Want to hit this a little high?
Yeah.
Cora Farrell here. Can play the run.
Roll it.
Very close.
Nice shot. Great shot.
Great shot out of
There
Cora.
you go. Double peel made.
Nice.
She can throw the rock very hard, very easily.
Double peel is such a big shot, right? It really makes such a big difference.
No questions, and they're ones where it's when you don't always get the chance very often, and you usually don't get 2 cracks at it. So it's one where it's important to make them when you get the chance.
Oh, line's good.
Taylor Anderson and Vicky Persinger brushing this rock from Sarah Anderson.
Yep. Where are you? Whoa. Whoa. Okay.
Well,
looks pretty good.
I mean,
say the
do you like this?
difficult to place that one because there you almost can't take away both the hack waiter, the out turn, and the in turn tap.
Yeah.
So I think they struck a good balance there, and looks like Jamie's going to try and still peel this back and maybe catch the yellow on the way by.
This is the shot they were hoping to make Jamie play.
Whoa! Whoa!
It's close.
Roll.
Really close.
Urging it to curl.
So close.
Oh.
Just misses it.
Good toss.
Missed it by a fraction.
So, yep. Sounds like Monica threw that one well. Just probably going to see her. If she has another chance, take a little less ice, and I think my money's on her to make it.
Does force Christensen to place another perfect guard.
Yep. So I think they're going to be slightly hard pressed to make it as good as our last
Easy
one.
if you can.
Guards are not always easy on championship ice.
Straight,
easy to take for granted.
Straight.
Easier in ice that's a little bit straighter like this week.
Over and off.
Otherwise, I always say throwing the perfect guard on swingy championship ice, it's a bit like drawing the button. You have to throw it right to the spot. You need it.
Yep. And really need the big communication, right?
I like it.
So now a little more room there for this out-turn hack.
Definitely available to them.
And if this is made, Corey's going to have a difficult decision between trying to come around again versus kind of take their medicine and hit and roll somewhere.
So Monica requesting a little more ice and saying she's going to throw easy hack.
She told us that was her new favorite weight.
Yeah, she did. When she was in the booth here with us, she said easy hack was her favorite. They're sweeping hard for line. She doesn't want to wreck after asking for a little, well, she asked for a little more ice. So she'll be all right.
Big sweep from Cora here.
Really close.
Keep going,
Great scrub.
straight.
Need to try to save that back one as well. Terrific shot.
Terrific shot and terrific sweep there.
Great brushing. And a good thing she asked for a hair more ice.
Yep, good thing. I've always found the funny thing about easy hack is that really it just means actual hack, because most teams tend to overthrow hack. Usually when they ask for hack, they get bored anyway, so easy hack means, okay, I'll actually throw hack.
It's a good call. I've said this about 3 times so far, but I remember Wayne Madaw saying once in a broadcast saying, my hack or your hack.
So Christensen looking to play the hit and roll off that one on the side 8-foot.
Yeah, a good roll on top of the yellow in the back is going to be really nice.
So again, coming up in the break, Nick Wagner from Team Brundage.
So Corey Christensen has faced nothing particularly easy or routine so far.
Yeah, she's had a lot of challenging shots in this first half of the game.
Outside of that first clean first end.
No, Vicky! Hard, Vic! Hard, Vic!
Vicky Persinger trying to work it over. I think it's going to not go enough.
Perhaps a little too much weight, just didn't quite curl as much as they hoped.
I know. You just do
Let's see what
this
Jamie
and then try to
thinks.
make her throw a good draw. Yeah. Try to chase it. I like it. Okay, just control then. I don't mind a hair less. I mean, they had middle of the rock with a 10-4.
Hair off those.
Yeah.
Acknowledging that they're going to have a difficult time taking away the Corey's draw around the center and also keeping their chances at 3 or 4 alive.
Control.
They're just going to hit and flop here and say, if you want to come around, try us.
Slightly high side. Try to get a little roll out.
And there's Team Rhyme in the background.
It's tough to do with the jam, eh?
What?
It's tough to roll with the jam.
Yeah.
Looks like they
a hair under?
took a deuce in the 5th end to tie it up at 3.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
I think so.
I think she can hit and
Just
roll
a
a
shade
little
less
bit
ice.
wider, don't you here, Luke? She's worried about the jam. I mean, I understand. you have to
heck,
be-
I can over roll too.
Yeah, she can miss the jam and roll out of the rings depending on what weight she throws.
So now she's saying she's going to roll under, but be aggressive with it, thinking that if she rolls big to the other side, that's not a bad result either.
That would be a good result, but certainly you're kind of flirting with the disaster there. I think the worst possible outcome would be to roll to back button here.
Whoa!
Hard roll.
Might be close to that.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was that much weight. Sorry, guys.
Well, I think they were able to just, I think that's an okay spot.
Yeah. You like similar weight?
Yeah.
Still forces Corey to make a hit and roll. But it is a short roll. And I think they've seen a lot of shots on this half of the sheet. So should have a lot of confidence.
Tough place to find a good roll, don't you think? I mean, you can't roll just a little. You got the hack weight hitter. You roll to the button, you might have the short run back.
I think she's got about like 2.5 rocks or so to roll to. If she shows a piece, she over rolls and shows a piece, it's still going to jam on the back one. So I think she has some margin on the over roll. And even if she under rolls, like it's still a difficult shot to play the hack waiter and sit for 3.
I think what's important here, she needs to trust the ice too. It's, needs to throw it with conviction, believe that ice will work.
Yep.
Close. Whoa. Close. Just
Looks like a good throw.
Whoa. No. Vicky. Hard, Vic.
Need the carve here.
Hard.
Trying to carve this rock over. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that.
Again, just expecting a little more finish at the end there and just not getting it.
Yeah.
So just like that, Jamie has a shot here for 3.
And I will say, this is definitely straighter than the last couple draws. All those, if you throw a nice control weight, they do, at least historically, been curling up at the end just a little bit, then that's what they're waiting for. They don't want to call the carve too early out of fear that they'll overdo it. And then it just never quite comes and they end up on the nose.
Low side's okay.
You should feel pretty comfortable to Jamie Sinclair. Low side, as she said, should be fine.
Yep. Big shot here.
Jamie Sinclair, last rock, 5th end, hoping to score 3.
Whoa. Right off.
Off early.
Ooh,
there is the
right
possible
off.
jam in the back.
Whoa.
Let it work.
Whoa.
Let it work.
Electing to let
Think
it curl
she's good.
naturally rather than carve it.
Clean.
Think she's
Good.
fine.
Nice
Good
It's
throw.
a good shot and 3 points for Team Sinclair.
Sinclair picks up 3, takes a 6-1 lead going into the break. We'll have that for you right after this.
USA Curling is committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion in sport. Our new Icebreakers program, created and led by Deborah Martin and Dean Gemmel, will promote strategic outreach by clubs to Black, Indigenous, and populations of color that have been underrepresented in curling. By introducing our amazing sport to new groups, we can create lasting connections that will benefit our clubs and the communities around them. You can find more information about Icebreakers in the Diversity and Inclusion section at usacurling.org. Icebreakers. Share the sport, elevate the game.
Yeah, over here with Nick Wagner, our 5th end break guest from Team Brundage. You guys 2 and 3 overall. You mentioned had a little team meeting to get ready for Team Ruinen tonight. Going to be the backup sheet tonight over there, so we'll probably get a few check-ins and hear what's going on over there. But brought you in, Nick. you've got an amazing story, to say the least. And as we all know, cancer probably touches every single person that's watching this broadcast right now, somewhere directly, indirectly. And you've got your own story to share, because shortly after Nationals last year in Spokane, you said you were telling me you weren't feeling great there, tired, and then it was shortly after COVID hit, you went and just said to the ER, I'm not feeling good. And then take it from there, what you learned and how everything went.
Yeah, so after Nationals last year, it was a whirlwind. I wasn't feeling really too great. I made it through the week, was able to compete, and then gave it about a month of just not feeling so great, and I went in to get checked out by my doctors locally, and unfortunately found a tumor sitting in my chest region that needed some attention to it. So was fortunate enough to have a really good support system around me, like my wife, Victoria, who I obviously love very much, and then a lot of good friends in the curling community.
Sure. And tell me, because what you were sharing with me just a little bit ago is you were really fortunate, obviously, to live in the Twin Cities, Mayo Clinic there. But one of the members of your club team, your club curling team, is from Winnipeg, but works at the Mayo Clinic, and you told me is basically a whiz and has been researching cancer for 50 years. And that was really, in a lot of ways, a saving grace and an angel for you.
Yeah. So my good friend Neil, who I've curled with for a couple years in St. Paul, he took me in, and his team took me in when I moved there a couple years ago. He was one of the first calls I made when I ended up finding out I had cancer. And he was a big part of my journey, making sure I had the right doctor to go to at Mayo and checking in with me. And we would go to his house every few weeks and just make sure everything was set for the next round of chemotherapy. And it was just fantastic having a support system like that. So it's amazing what you can find in a community of curlers. You just think of it as something fun you do every week, or if you get the chance to do competitively, and he was just a blessing to me and my family.
Sure, absolutely. And mentioned stage 4, so you need to get this thing looked at quickly. The good news, we can report in full remission now.
Yeah.
Feeling good, obviously here with Team Brundage as their alternate. You were playing just last year in Spokane. I remember, you throwing lead rocks or second stones with Cam, Cam Rittenauer, the lead. But I mean, this thing came and went very quickly. The mental toughness. I know the physical part of the chemo, not me specifically, but watching family members and others that have gone through it. But the mental side of this, finding it out, but then having the strength of friends, family, loved ones all around you. Talk about digging deep mentally that you have to beat, to fight for your life.
Yeah. So that's a great point. So there's times where you get very humbled when you're going through chemotherapy, whether it's not being able to walk properly because you're just too tired that week, being completely wiped out. And it's just little things like people checking in with you, people fighting for you and being around you that makes you really want to get out there and get after it. There were several times during my treatment where I wouldn't be able to do certain things, and my wife would be right by my side giving me things, making sure things showed up. I had lots of Amazon packages, lots of nice things from coworkers, and I was very fortunate to be able to I was actually able to work throughout the entire treatment to keep my mind focused on other things than just what was going on in front of me. But it was just so great to have people around. And there's definitely folks that have much harder treatments and much more difficult times than I did. But it was definitely an experience.
Yeah, and I know that many of our viewers right now are have similar stories of family members that beat the odds, that can share in the success, and obviously their loved ones and friends still with us and with them. When you I hate to use the term second lease on life, so to speak, but how does your outlook kind of change going through something like this? Did it change for you?
Absolutely. I think a lot of people that know me would say that, I have some stress at sometimes. I've been probably on cloud 9 for the last 6-7 months, and even throughout treatment as things continue to get better, you take all the little things as just pure enjoyment, doing yard work, being able to just come out here and throw rocks and being able to see people that I'm familiar with, and it's just so great. And the pandemic was tough on everybody, so something with just a little bit of added pressure, but everybody had such a tough time that it's just so great to see so many people out here having fun again and competing. So.
Yeah, well, Nick, it's great to have you in here and to share your success story, and we share in obviously the joy of clearly you being here and curling and being a part of Team Brundage, and just thrilled, obviously, clearly that your journey ended the way it did, and just, again, to let everybody know you're in full remission now. Been there for, what, 6 months? 6-7 months. Yeah. So, yes, we all know somebody, whether it's directly, indirectly. I mean, obviously a terrible, terrible disease that affects millions of Americans and people across the world. Yep. But, Nick, thanks for sharing your story with us. Thanks for being here this week and supporting your team and Team Brundage. You guys going to be out there tonight again against Team Ruinen at 8 o'clock. Going to be on the, be our backup game. So excited to see you out there, and good luck the rest of the way, man. It's great having a few minutes with you.
Appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks, Nick. All right, guys, back over to you all.
All right. Thanks to Nick for sharing his story and a bit of a reality check.
Mine's good.
When you miss your, when you lose a game in an extra end, you can think about some of the bigger things in life, can't you, Luke Violette?
Absolutely.
Finish it a bit.
It's always
Finish
good to have those reminders every once in a while.
Yep.
Really, it's just more than anything.
Incredibly,
incredible opportunity just to be out here playing with everybody, and just that. Being able to have a good time.
There's a 2!
Easy to lose sight of it, especially if you get a little down early in the game.
So how has your experience in the bubble been so far?
It's been phenomenal, I'd say. Really, I guess more than anything, just happy to play. Certainly, I think we're lucky that we were playing well last week. And I might be playing well enough this week too, but the bubble's been great. The food's been awesome. I'm not someone that gets too stir crazy sitting in a hotel room. So for me, it's been good. I've actually had a room to myself, so I can focus on some schoolwork. It's my last and my second to last week of college education, unless I decide to pursue a later degree at some point in my life. But so I've had that to keep me busy, and but these schedules are tough, as you know. Sitting here for 4 hours, 4 draws a day, so there's plenty to do, and I think more than anything, the food's been great, and the drive over here isn't too long, so it's been about as good as you can ask for.
Yeah, I think all things considering, I'm going to say USA Curling has done a great job with planning the logistics of the event. I certainly wasn't involved in any of that. I was able to just show up and start talking into a microphone, but the team that has worked on it, a lot of details to iron out, a lot of moving targets too. We were never sure all winter exactly when this would be able to happen. So nice that we seem to finally be getting on the other side of the pandemic. Certainly some things for us to get over still, but we're on our way. So 6-1 Sinclair over Christensen. Clearly Corey Christensen has some work to do.
Looks like she was trying to hit that and roll under her corner guards. Just couldn't quite find enough curl.
Sort of your classic opening when you're up 5, you put one in. Some corner guards go up, you're trying to cap it, flood the middle of the house.
Yep, the triple stack.
The triple stack sounds like a burger I had last weekend here. Actually, I didn't have a triple stack.
Maybe you're just hungry right now.
I had a single cheese.
You really got to curl. You're not on it yet. Just going to let it work. I think so, yeah.
I have floated this out a bit.
Oh, my gosh. It's got to go.
Might graze. No.
Ooh, and through the hole.
I think she just was a little strong. Yeah, I would agree.
Looked like a little bit of an inside-out release and a little bit of extra weight.
Considering not the worst result in the world.
No.
Could have hit the one that shot stone.
Worked out pretty swell for them, all things considered. That's something you need to use more in games, Luke. Say that's swell.
Give it a go.
Give it a go in the next game.
Try it tonight. I mean, you're in the feature matchup. We'll give you a microphone.
Yeah.
I think your teams look good so far. I mean, certainly, I think Scott Dunham's team has looked good too. I mean, they have been putting in a lot of work as well. So that was a great game to watch. I mean, we only caught the last few ends, but it was exciting curling.
Line's
Yeah,
really
no, they're
nice.
a solid team. For us, there's just a few shots in the early half that we'd like
Where
to
are
have
you,
back.
girls?
But that's the thing, there's a lot of teams that I'd say
curl.
used the
Gotta
pandemic to
curl,
their
Tay.
advantage in their training, and
Yep.
I'd say almost if anything improved
Yep,
over
all
the
the
last
way.
year or so,
All
and
the way
I'd
back,
put them
girls.
on that list.
Yep, you gotta bury it.
So I
Hard.
think there's a
Hard,
lot of
come on,
solid
Tay.
teams in this field.
Hard,
It's
go,
gonna
go,
be a
go,
fight
go,
to the
go,
end.
Certainly a logjam sitting at 3-2 where you guys are right now. One,
I mean, it's
two,
probably
three,
there,
four,
but it's
five,
tough.
6
Oh,
teams
geez.
now sitting at 3-2.
I have not looked at the actual standings.
Single
So.
peel.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, there it is, just throwing it at me here.
Between back line and hack.
It's the problem with having a V last name.
you take
We
the
always
top
end up at the bottom of the stacks, right?
Technically a tie for second.
Yeah, with the 7 next to our name.
Yeah. So Monica looking to dig this one out.
Yep. Hard. Hard.
Sweeping hard for line here.
Hard, Cora. Hard line.
This
Hard.
one seems to have found some curl.
Hard line. Hard.
Wow,
nice.
great
Go, go, go,
sweep
go,
out of
go.
Cora.
Yep. Whoa.
He's had a few of
Good.
these this game.
I'm not sure if I heard Monica say
all
"whoa" at one point,
did
but
say
I
whoa
think
at
she
one
did.
point.
She was like, you know what? I don't think I'm getting this by
Yep.
tight enough yet.
I tend to have the same strategy as Jamie. I think Andrew tried to do that to us once, and I made sure the boys could not hear him.
Like this way?
Wow.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, that
misses
same
both
firm,
those
Sarah.
guards.
Okay.
Usually it's when you're playing especially well, though, you start to think, oh, I could paper this a little bit even better.
Yep. I mean, she could have been thinking, hey, let's over curl and make sure we wreck it thick.
Yeah, maybe she'd given up on it, perhaps, maybe, but the rest of them did not.
No. Very confident line call out of Jamie there.
This looks like it's going to be a straight peel.
2.5.
Yep.
So Sinclair fully in control here again.
I think just straight guard it.
Yep, they're gonna need to find some contact on one of these run backs in the next shot or two here.
The beauty of that hit by Monica, she kept hers sort of stacked behind her
Yeah.
top 8 foot. Now they can continue to clog the middle. Those corner guards may not come into play that much.
Yep.
Running out of time to use them, that's certainly
Hair
true.
tight.
Anyway, sometime in the next shot or two here, we might see
Oh, you're good.
Sarah or
You're
Corey
good.
come and freeze to that stone.
Okay,
It's
bring
kind
it
of
two.
a last-ditch effort for 2.
On the ice. Take a
Two's
look.
good. Line's good. Let it die. Let it die. Nothing.
Hoping
Good
it
job,
stops. That should work.
That might take away a lot of that intern, that's for sure.
It's sort of barely a Christmas tree there.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to try this.
Yeah. I'd say it's tough. It's a little late in the end. I'd say it looks like there is a triple there if you throw that run back, but then that's only going to leave 2 stones, and if Jamie at all makes a good one on her first, there's not going to be an opportunity for 2. So the time is now.
And also the fact that they are trailing 6-1 might factor into this decision.
Absolutely.
You have to force the play a little bit.
Technically 3 is not out of the cards if she makes this good.
That's true.
Added a bit on the release.
Big shot from Sarah here.
Where? Line's nice.
Corey
Line's
likes the
really
line
nice,
from the
girls.
rings.
Gotta move a bit.
Now it's about the weight.
Gotta move. Gotta move. Whoa.
Needs to curl.
Looks like it needs to curl and is maybe a tiny bit heavy.
You can, Vic.
No, it's digging
So it's
in.
pretty good.
Good. Really nice, Sarah.
Great shot.
Nice job. Good shot.
I don't think we risk coming in, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Just lob it on the curling somewhere.
I like it. Right on the L.
Yeah, I like that. I think that should be close.
Yeah.
So they're going to call a guard here.
Not too tight though.
Yeah, a scoreboard call, I'd say, too. You know, they're up 6-1. They are seeing a difficult path for Corey to get
Just a guard?
more than one.
Just a 3. I don't want it crazy tight or anything.
Okay.
But you wanted to lob it up on the L
On
in
that
USA
4-foot line,
Curling?
basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Want to make sure you get wide enough with the broom here.
Okay. Just a 3.
It's a 3 guard.
I think it's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. Line's fine.
Just here.
2.5 is good.
Line's good.
2.5. I think Jamie would rather be a little higher than too tight here. So
Line is the most important part of the shot. Too.
No!
Looks like it's over curling a little bit more than they would like it to.
Stop.
Yep. These are tough shots. Very,
Good spot.
So
very
she's lined
often
up
over
with,
curl. But that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. She's lined up with the I versus the L, but that should work. The I in curling versus the L in curling. Well, sort of very close. Edge to the L.
The in.
Let's hear what Corey thinks now, how she's going to try to manufacture something.
Try to get through the hole and do this. I know, we were looking at that too. I think it's there.
I think it's.
But it might be like a second shot.
Just
Kinda
need Vicky
thing.
to up there.
Yeah, I
she
don't
goes.
mind doing that.
2 steps that way.
Closing it down again.
I mean, we could call a timeout.
Well, I mean, you could open up
You
your.
like a timeout? Let's do a timeout.
Okay.
And they're going to call a timeout and bring Wayne Anderson out to the ice.
And you could
We need
open
another
up your
person to
draw
get in the way.
pads and peel those.
Yeah,
Peel
they're
which
sitting
ones?
at
The red ones?
15
Just to
minutes
open
and
up the drop
53
half of it.
seconds there.
Oh.
So just a little
I'd
bit
rather
behind on
peel
time,
yellow,
but
yeah.
nothing unmanageable.
Right now?
My thought was maybe opening up a drop pad to score, but what else?
I kind of like this.
Yeah, either the in-turn draw or my thought was hitting the 4.
So what was the last part?
Just hitting the 4. Hit and roll on the 4. Like
Through
this.
the port.
All right. So if we crash on the guard, we're gonna run back, take away our 120, right?
She might just guard again.
Might
She might open up the draw for her.
The trouble with even a spinner to draw through here, if it left it there.
Yeah, we're saying that's her second shot though. That's her last shot.
Last shot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, does it make any sense to
The reds?
Yeah.
Or even peeling the guard she just threw. Make her put it back and then you have the other draw.
It's not bad.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
True.
Getting rid of that because I think she'll just run
Yeah.
Straight
I
peel.
don't mind the peel.
Straight peel or do anything else with it? I think
Yeah, I don't think the run gets us anything. Just straight peel.
Okay.
All right, so good.
So their thought process is that they'll peel the guard Jamie Sinclair just through,
You like this way, right?
make her put it back.
I was
They
kinda
did
thinking
say
this
they
way.
thought that if
I
it's
just don't ever wanna
back, they
clip
would
this.
have a draw. I don't see a draw on the intern side. Do you, Luke?
I think
Whatever
that's
one.
what they're talking about. You might need to add some rotation,
thought was
but
this
I do think it's possible. It's
Pretty tight, though.
I think you kind of need to throw a spinner, but I think
Yeah.
it's there.
You have to throw a spinner and get tight to the high red
I mean,
guard.
granted, it's just curling 3 feet, so I do think it is makeable, but that's certainly a challenging shot.
She might like to pick off the high yellow here with this.
Could potentially give Jamie a chance to come sit top button, though.
That's true.
I think this is one where I do think that the straight peel is the best call, so you need to be disciplined here.
Yep.
Clean, whoa!
Resist the urge to go for more.
Yep.
Oh, she might get more.
Ooh.
Right through there. That's good.
Same thing. And now that line is fine.
They could have got
Yeah,
redirected
right,
right onto
because
their
this
own
is
stone. That was
Yep.
Same.
little
Flirted
dicey.
with it.
Yep, and that would have left it wide open there. So
It's an argument for maybe playing the peel the other way.
I'd think so. I couldn't tell. I think they might have been worried about catching the other one, but
I think they put it through that hole.
yeah.
Okay. That's the same broom?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, this is made. I think we're gonna see the opportunity for a fantastic shot out of Corey here if she attempts that spinner through the hole.
That intern spinner draw.
And unfortunately here, I don't think she has any angles on either of her corner guards for an angle run back. So
So Jamie Sinclair trying to duplicate the shot she just threw. A little more room probably doesn't concern them too much since the last one almost over curled.
no. And they can definitely afford to leave a little bit of a hole here, right? Because any sort of contact on that red is going to result in a rollout from Corey. So the big thing is guarding the draw path.
So.
Yep. Looks like she did, but almost in the exact same spot. Moment of truth. Yep. Room goes right down.
Well, let's see. This is exciting.
Yeah, it's a good spot. I was sliding a bit tight when I tried that.
Because the ice is a little straighter, it is probably has a better chance than most here.
Yeah, I don't think she has to add too much rotation here.
Trying to play with the telesphere, see if I can make that thing move through the
make
hole.
A little bit of a spinner animation.
Yep.
So and she'll have to get tight to the high red guard, and then she should have a good line to the button.
Could even be a little bit of an opportunity to graze off that top yellow and still spin in.
True.
But the weight would need to be closer to back 8, though.
There's the extra rotation.
Fairly normal out of her.
It's like a little extra.
Yeah, I would say a little.
Whoa, close. Whoa, needs a curl bit.
It's close.
Yeah, just needs to catch a little bit.
Wreck.
Not quite.
So 1 for Christensen here in the 6th then. Hammer will flip, and Sinclair will have the hammer. Up 6-2 when we come back after this.
I don't think there's really one moment that starts a comeback. We have the ability to overcome anything as long as we're surrounded by the right people.
I need a good group of people to trust, to work on my body.
I'll be back and I'll be stronger than ever.
I go, who are you? He goes, I'm the guy that's going to save your life.
Comebacks imply returning to where you once were. I want to go where I've never been.
And we're back here. Sinclair up 4 with the hammer. And we're going to send it over to our man, Price Atkinson, for a price tick. Price, just so before you go, I want to let you know, I feel bad that I blew through you the last time. I made a big giant sign. Make sure we didn't do that this time.
The show must go on, Joe. But as the show rages on 6-2, Jamie Sinclair over here leading. Back in January, Jamie Sinclair's longtime junior coach, Randy Fletcher, lost a battle with cancer. And we just had Nick Wagner on sharing his success story. But Randy Fletcher, her longtime junior coach, very close friend of the Sinclair family, passed away in mid-January. It was a loyal viewer to all our telecasts and broadcasts that we would do on the 12th End Sports Network of Nationals, and I was fortunate to meet Randy a couple of years ago in Kalamazoo for the first time, and got to see him most recently about a little over a year ago, or it was at the last Players Championship at Mattamy Center in Toronto. It was just a great man, native of Manotick, lives around the corner from the Sinclair family. His wife, Nancy, even sent me a couple of messages this morning, and so we got to go back and forth a few times. But certainly thinking about Nancy, who is, I know, watching Team Sinclair right now back in Manotick, Ontario, and we're thinking about you, Nancy, as I know these next few weeks and months are still hard, but we miss Randy's viewership and all the comments he used to leave us, all the great, nice things he would say about the broadcast, and, hit me up on Facebook wanting to know how close is the rock, wanting like an inside and even photos. So I will send it back over to you guys.
Thanks, Price. Always nice to hear about junior curling mentors and the impact they have. A little more backstory on Jamie. Her hometown is Manotick, Ontario, but she was born in Alaska. And I'd be remiss if I didn't note that her home club here in the United States is the Charlotte Curling Club, the Charlotte Curling Association in Charlotte, North Carolina, one of the clubs we've seen in non-traditional curling areas. Have you ever been able to curl down there, Luke?
I have not. I have not really been curled much outside of the Twin Cities and Seattle and anywhere that's hosted the Junior Nationals.
back 8, full back 8.
They have a good group of people. They got a curling club dedicated facility done pretty quickly. They went from 2010 Olympics to within 4 or 5 years, and I think they moved to a dedicated facility, and it's an awfully nice one.
I'd say that Charlotte and then Phoenix and Denver, I think, are at the top of my list of clubs I've not been fortunate enough to play at yet. I'd say the Golden Ranch Classic down in Arizona is always on our list, but it always conflicted with Junior Nationals. So
true.
Looking to hopefully add that one in there one of these years.
Yeah, the club in Phoenix. We've got a club in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. We have clubs in Atlanta.
Whoa, whoa. Top 4, top 8. Whoa, line's getting better. Stay close, Sarah. Yep.
Vicky Persinger
Yep. Hard, Sarah.
with her first.
Trying to bump this behind the tee line here.
Okay.
Not quite all the way back there, but certainly good enough.
I think
good
just
throw.
a single.
Yeah, I think Jamie's just going to try and keep this as clean as she can and post a point this end.
So rather than take on the double peel, she sees enough value in making this peel of a single high guard. Smart call, up 6-2.
Just quickly updating other scores. Strouse is up 4-3 on Ryan.
Great shot.
Traxler up 3-1 on McMakin.
Good job. Put it back.
Nice shot from Cora there.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, splitting center or what?
Yeah, I think. Right here.
Nice. You got it.
Always good to be specific with exactly where you want the guard. It's difficult as a skip, especially on the time clock, to walk up there every time, but that's where communication's key. If you can at least quickly be able to explain without having to walk up exactly where you want that stone, it goes a long ways.
I like a skip who is less specific, Luke, so then I can claim confusion when I miss.
Sarah, a bit.
Effective club curling tactic.
I thought that's where you wanted it. In the hack.
2. Nope, let it stop. Where are
That's
you?
really curling early.
It is curling hard. It looks like she might have thrown that a little soft.
That still surprises me. I don't know if it's possible to manufacture that much curl right now.
Do we know which rock that is? We've had the red set really seems to be
it's a little tricky.
for people, and there's we've seen teams all throw them in different orders, so we're not giving anything away by talking about them. Oh,
It's a
it's a
6
rock.
Hard! Hard roll!
Oh.
Wow, and picked off the one in the top. A little fortunate there.
No, works decent, but it is going to be difficult to double peel that other red center guard now.
So for Jamie Sinclair, mission going forward is to score every time she has last rock.
Yep.
And ideally force when she doesn't, but as long as she scores whenever she has last rock, she'll be in good shape.
I like just a straight free.
Absolutely.
Sarah Anderson.
Easy, easy, easy. No.
I think it's heavy out of hand.
Well.
A less than enthusiastic no.
Free to the back
yeah,
one.
I'm thinking about bringing the back
Vicky.
one in play here.
Okay, it's curling now.
Lost it. If they can just punch this directly underneath the other guards, that's a pretty good shot, but I'm not sure they have the weight to do it.
Okay.
Looks like they're going to be right on the corner
it's
of it.
about. Don't remember exactly what they called here.
But it's pretty close, I think,
I think
to
it
the
was
call.
close. Maybe
Yeah.
we're finding a little bit more curl late in that spot.
We did see that in another game where it started to curl more as the game went on.
Half a rock tap with back line.
I was under the impression that they didn't think it had much of a chance.
Space is there. 6 inches ish. 5 inches. Yeah, I like. Like normal? Okay.
So
Just slightly low.
I don't think Jamie thought Monica could get enough of it, but Monica thinks she can, and it looks like she can.
Yeah, certainly a little room between the edge of that stone and the guard.
I think up 6-2, you'd rather remove that rock
Oh! No!
versus playing it quiet, as they first suggested.
Whoa! Whoa! Anything?
Yeah, even
anything,
if they just get it rolling that direction, that's pretty good.
Yep. Good.
That is good.
I think it might leave Corey a chance to sit 2 here.
Probably just freeze again, huh?
Partially under.
Yeah.
You're right, she could play a hit and roll, lie 2. Hit and roll
Electing
open.
to just freeze.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a few feet less here.
I'm slightly surprised she hasn't been trying to bump this one behind the tee line buried. So
Yeah.
that she could then freeze on it subsequently.
Wait if you can for line.
Line's nice.
Does feel like even if you froze to this one,
Got
how would you
room.
ever get another one to it?
It's going to take some
Line's
work.
good. Right to it, girls. Right to it.
So this
Straight.
is third Sarah Anderson's second
Hard,
stone
right
of
to
the
it.
7th end.
Hard. Go, go, go. You got to go for line. Go, 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 go. Hard. Okay. All right. Good sweep.
And I think they do have the wide out turn option to get
bit of a
shot
roll
rock
that way's
buried.
fine.
Yeah, wrap one around with the out turn.
Same
But,
way?
it's tricky. That top yellow guard, you know, it's even outside of the edge of it's even outside of the 4 foot. So you need to overbury it, I think, to get shot.
Oh! Yep! Yep!
Clean. Yep.
Hard!
Yep.
Hard!
Pushing this back.
Oh, they rolled a little closer than they wanted to.
Draw this way.
Yeah, I don't mind the draw.
Corey's going to look at this wide out turn draw. One challenge is a lot of the break will come,
Yeah, I mean, there's a big roll.
Yeah.
you know, after they're by that yellow guard.
You can make it pretty good. Actually, Scott made a couple shots on us today that we didn't quite think were there. Just papering guards with like backline weight. I think he had a almost made a really nice bump out for 2.
You got this.
He probably has a slightly softer release than you, I would guess. So there's probably
Big roll.
Not necessarily, actually.
no.
No, it's actually fairly similar. He always has he has a little bit of outward momentum to his release. I'd say maybe he has a slightly less rotation,
Yeah,
but a
make
little
big
bit more of
roll
an
over.
out. But they just they're a very confident sweeping team, and they can paper those guards pretty effectively. I think she elected for the hit and roll here.
Corey Christensen with her first.
Solid. Pretty big. Clean. Whoa.
All about the roll.
Whoa.
Just needs to get buried under the stack here.
Close. Taylor.
Floating a little bit here.
Yeah.
Trying to work
Again,
it over
just
now. I
not
don't know if they're
quite
going to get
getting
it
that late
over as
finish.
far as they need to. Jamie could roll to there and make it awfully difficult for
Yeah.
Corey.
Now she'll be above the tee line, and there won't be a whole lot of options.
Right? Sure, sure. Okay. Low side's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, again, really just don't want to nose it and potentially leave the same shot. She'd rather over curl and hit it too thin on the low side and roll completely out.
So they're going to be aggressive with the roll.
Exactly.
Great.
So expect to see Elizabeth Cousins
be
hard
pretty
on the sweep
straight.
here for most of the shot.
Speed's good? Effortless? Okay.
Effortless, okay.
Effortless. I didn't. As a
Do you have effortless weight?
Do not. We have surf weight.
What's surf weight?
It's 11.5.
All right.
I'll give Chase the props to for that name. Figure it's just like the surf smoothly rolling in, right?
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
trying to wait on this. They definitely want to make sure they're inside.
Yep, there she goes.
Looks like they're inside now.
Yep, need a big sweep here. That's just gonna overroll there. So I think we'll see this wide out turn coming from Corey.
Definitely, as we discussed, though, the way to miss that.
That's fine. Just playing it safe.
Hung around over there, but probably not going to be a factor.
Still pretty much game on the line here for Corey
No.
Christensen.
So effectively taking 3 feet of ice here.
She's going to need something good here on her last. Visually in the hack, this doesn't look super appealing, but Luke Violette says he's seen this made today against him. Similar shot.
Nope.
Sort of has to follow the path of those guards all the way.
Yeah, especially, we talk about wanting to not jump the stone and kill it early. This is one where, you can take tight ice and intentionally jump it, right? And kind of control when it breaks. And if you get it just right, you should be able to get to just paper the guard and then really start to break once it gets by.
Line's good. Easy if you can, girls. Whoa, no.
So they like the line early.
It's a little wide.
Room, yeah, curl it.
So I'm going to get both of them working on the curl
Right
here.
to T, guys, curl it. Gotta curl, yep. 15-5.
Now Taylor and
Yep,
Vicky
you
working
gotta
as
go
hard as
Tay.
they can.
Right to T.
Get every ounce of curl.
Right by the yellow.
Easy.
Didn't quite get the finish.
So Jamie Sinclair is left lying 1.
Well, I think I
think deciding
guess this
between, I don't
way?
know how buried that is,
Well, I
but
can play this
deciding
style.
between chasing that or just taking 2. 2 points is really nice here.
probably have a third
So
of
is
it
1.
from,
So
This shot definitely looks available, though.
it is, and
Maybe
I'd say
similar
there's
for me.
Probably not a whole lot harder than the draw.
Exactly.
And it's for the game.
Yep, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of risk here.
Right?
To give up 1 somehow. I don't really see anything. I think you'd have to. I don't even think there's a double run back there if you got really tight. So might as well give it a go here.
Right down to it, like a little tap on theirs. How's the speed out here?
I think she's going to play it just for 2 with the idea that if the line's great,
Like that
maybe they
pop
can
was
push it
real
far
quick.
enough.
Yep, and that's a good way to play this.
Last rock, 7th end. Jamie Sinclair already lying 1, looking to add to that number.
It's all there.
I think heavy and wide out of hand.
Haven't touched this yet.
Actually, yeah, now that Monica wants to just avoid tickling this over to potentially give up the seal, I think that would be the only potential risk, and even then it would have had to just spin up in the back.
So Sinclair gets 1 here in the 7th end. It's going to take a 5-point lead into the 8th when we come back after this.
It's not what it used to be.
It's not just a couple guys we have to look out for.
It's everyone.
They're all great.
So it's not just about how good we can get as individuals.
It's about how good we can be together.
To find the right person for each position.
And the right tool for every job. It's more than a winning combination.
It's a solution.
Gold Line.
The choice of champions.
So we're back here. Christensen's going to have to hammer down 5 in the 8th end, playing the Red Rocks.
So we had a shot that probably could have produced broom taps handshakes, but Jamie Sinclair was a little wide and heavy with that last one. Nonetheless, for her, it was mission accomplished. Scored an 8, or scored in 7.
Coming down.
Up 5 with 3 ends to play.
5-5. Full 4.
Just a reminder,
Yep.
Luke's going to trade in his headset for a player mic in the 8 p.m. matchup against Riley Fenson.
And we'll keep an eye on his time. So he has. I've told him that he should not feel obliged to stay with us as much as we enjoy having him. He does have a curling game he's going to be trying to win in less than a couple hours.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm feeling pretty good right now, and I brought a box lunch here, so I'm prepared to last.
It's a young man's game these days, Joe.
That's true.
So Team Christensen here is going to be hard-pressed to try and get this corner guard in play. Big sweep from Sarah. And that's over. Big sweep. And smiles around.
Top 12.
And really, in retrospect, not too bad of a shot. They'll be able to then, rather than go on opposite sides, they'll throw a tight corner guard around that one, and they'll have a chance to put that in a very usable spot.
Yeah, we saw earlier today a team end up with the sort of middle one, and then you're stuck with splitting the corner guards. You don't really have the option that they do.
Mm-hmm. And there's lots of splitting the corner guards is still very viable, and actually kind of is our preference to an extent.
Got a curl.
But it's more or less when you get, especially I think stacking them is even more effective when the ice is a little more swingy.
Good.
Right, you can get that tighter one really tight, and then get a nice one buried behind it.
So Jamie Sinclair asked Elizabeth Cousin to stack hers on top of her first one. Mission accomplished.
Good pair out of Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And that's where Leeds Rocks can really make a big difference in these slightly lopsided games. If the lead of the team that's ahead can consistently apply pressure, right, that just makes all the subsequent shots from the team that's behind that much more difficult.
And that's actually that second one in particular is an easy shot to miss. You can create a pocket in a hurry. All of a sudden, it's troublesome for the whole end, or you can leave it well short.
Yep.
And now Jamie will cap those.
This is looking a lot like when Christensen had the hammer 2 ends ago.
Yeah, it is. And Team Christensen is going to be doing everything they can to use Team Sinclair's rocks against them here. So that's where this rock placement is also important.
Cora Farrell.
Line's good. Just 2. Line's good. Just 2. Line's good. Bit of room. Just got to bite center. Got to curl a bit. Curl if you can.
Should finish here, I think.
Got to bite center, Mon. Curl.
Looks really good right now.
Yep.
Yep. Hard.
Get that little bit of carve. Perfect. Yeah, important to cover the side that's closer to those corner guards. Otherwise, they'll throw a board weight and be able to roll underneath.
What do you like?
I don't know. We could freeze, intern freeze. Or go around the corner. But
3 great shots so far from Team Sinclair.
Yeah, I think. Or you play the tick. Keep your shooter around.
Could just play for the freeze, and if we wreck, we wreck.
Play the freeze, and if we wreck the guard, we get tick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So playing the option here.
It's always nice when you're skipping and you're trying to manage a lead and you opening 3 go like this, isn't it?
Cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's a breath of fresh air for sure.
Instead of having to ponder making a tough one on your last.
Yep. And all of a sudden, if Cora's guard doesn't quite curl up there at the end, then this would be a straightforward, board weight hit and roll under.
And the end would be on.
Yep. And still could be on. They
oh yeah,
100%.
I'm not saying it's over after 3 good shots, but it's definitely the start that Sinclair was looking for in this end.
Significantly more precise shot here. If she can just paper this guard and freeze bump on those other 2, it's going to be nice.
Good. Line's good.
Nice.
Okay, good, Vicky.
That's a great shot.
Bunch of good execution so far in this end.
4-4 so far, or more than that.
Jamie is going to take on the peel of the high corner guard. She'll ask Cora Farrell to make it.
Oh. Good.
One of those nice peels where everybody's comfortable on the way down.
Another smooth release there from Cora.
Yeah.
Those inside-out corner guard peels can be easy to take for granted sometimes.
She seems like she's playing with a lot of confidence.
Absolutely.
Back line?
Yeah, what kind of weight do you like?
I was thinking hack, but I don't mind back line either. Just be nice to move these a little bit.
Yeah, I just want to keep our shooter,
Yeah, I agree. But I think you would with hack, too.
Okay.
Although you don't have much,
It's not
do
too
you?
often I get a chance to cover a
Go back
game
line,
in a
that's
women's
fine.
event and say that I've played with one of the players, having played down with Cora in the Youth Olympic trials and Youth Olympic Games.
I was going to say 2016, correct?
Yep.
I meant to add that earlier. Glad you threw that in here, Luke.
So many accolades, there's just not enough time.
I know, it's a 2-parter with Luke Violette on, but yeah, it's that was with Ben Richardson too, right? It was Cora Farrell, you, Ben.
And then our 4th is on the ice right now on a different sheet, if you can recall.
Yep.
Let me think.
Whoa.
It's,
Close. Whoa.
I'm real close here with it.
Okay.
I think
let me
who she's
check my
playing with
notes.
is a little less obvious, I would say.
All the way
Oh,
over. Go, go, go.
Dean's looking up. I'll give him a chance here.
No, I'm going to look at my own notes. I'm not even going to use Google, but lay it on me, Luke. Who else was on that
Katie
team?
Flannery.
Yes.
You know, playing with Team Rhyme over on sheet
Inside
5
out.
right now.
Do you like normal? Okay.
That was certainly a good experience, those Youth Olympic Games.
It was a phenomenal experience, and I think the big, I guess, advantage I think with it all is just having it so that when we all went to our junior worlds in subsequent years, we had that little bit of world experience. We might recognize an official or two, or at least be familiar with the flow of a WCF event format. And I think that goes a long ways when you're a little uncomfortable in the new setting.
Nice.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Good shot, Mon.
Great
Pretty
shot
good.
from Monica there.
Monica, I think, has played a pretty solid game at third.
I'll just let her say something first.
Absolutely. I think, you look at Team Sinclair's game as a whole, right? It's been pretty solid top to bottom.
Yeah, not a lot of mistakes.
Around a bit.
Making shots when they need to make shots.
No, just consistent
Just
pressure.
Like back 8-ish.
Right, they've really been making Team Christensen earn every point.
There is an opportunity here, though.
Absolutely.
Lock one in there.
Not sure if she's trying to throw a little bit of weight at it. I think if you
Move
could
it a
try to
little
move,
bit.
move them around just a little, I think that would help.
Set back 4.
Yep.
This late in the end, it would be good to push some of these back.
Yep.
No. Room. You actually have lots of room. Vic, go a bit. Yep. Go.
Oh, there it's starting to turn in there.
Okay.
I think caught just a little bit of a bad break there, the way it spun.
Yep. Angle still favoring Team
I don't
Sinclair.
love the angles.
Oh, she likes
actually,
them.
it's. I think it could be a little better for Team Christensen, but it's still pretty good for them.
I feel like we need to protect this.
Oh. I just think everything's riding on access to that
Just
red
a
stone.
3.
So if they can guard this, I think Corey might have to run this stone into it. Because like you said, they weren't able to remove any of those yellows, and they're it is getting late in the end.
Monica Walker guarding after a great shot in her first.
Hair tight. Just let it die. No. Let it die. Nope.
Turn
Gotta
this
sit.
over curling and a little heavy, maybe.
Sit.
A little bounce wouldn't be
Yeah.
terrible. They might
So
want
that's
to
one.
sweep it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not going to really be able to come at that red rock with weight anymore.
It's actually a decent spot because you can't run it back very easily.
Yeah, probably does just enough. The overlap isn't bad.
I think she can run it back and maybe just catch the outside, but
Yeah, I think so.
I think we need to.
that's a tough one to tell with the
Just
camera
feel.
angle.
She settled on the peel. Never great when you're peeling this late and you're down 7-2.
I think she is going to see how close she can cut it and try to catch something behind there. Big weight from Sarah here.
Oh. Hey, yep. Ah.
Should roll
Okay.
off. Yep.
Okay.
Effectively make the double peel there. And actually, sitting there isn't bad because that could potentially be an angle run back.
Lines up pretty well with that red.
I had you edge. I think it's
Sarah's
pretty
first
close.
throw.
You're 2 ends ago. Yeah. We're like on the end. So you need a little less. Yep, I like edge.
Jamie's thrown this guard a number of times.
Yeah, she has. I think this one she might want to find the G here.
Yeah, it's a little further over. She went from the I, the L to the I to the G here.
Straight guard that one that's on the 4-foot line. 2 or, yeah, probably a 2.
But I think it's at the point now where she might not really be able to guard everything. I think even if you expose that red that's on the center line, I think Corey's going to have some options with that stone.
Line's okay.
Let it work.
It's got a curl, if any.
Gonna curl. Let
Got
it
a curl.
No
Can you
curl,
go a bit, Cora?
but late.
Go, Cora.
Both of you. Yep.
Hard. Hard curl.
Yep.
Hard finish.
Yep.
Hard. Keep going. Keep going.
To get as much out of this as they can.
Pretty much lined up with the G.
Yeah.
It's true because it curls a little more.
You can throw it in.
As Luke says,
Yeah.
couldn't take away everything here. So let's see what they think of this situation.
Better coming at it this way.
Yeah, or we throw that. Yeah. Whichever you like.
I think she has a few options here. It sounds
You
like
the board waiter this way or the run? Yeah. And get this one?
Yeah, go like that.
Sure. Yeah.
We keep saying how much of an opportunity Christensen has, but Sinclair's sitting 3. Gonna have to do some damage here.
The first time they really talked about the rock on the center line, isn't it, Luke?
yeah, no, it's kind of been forgotten there as maybe one that we'll be able to score with in the ends, but it could be a useful stone for them here. I'm not.
Actually, firm's probably fine.
I think they've discussed about 5 different options here.
Yeah, I think
and it
right
looks
here.
like they might be going with the angle run.
You got it.
Yeah, the angle run that you mentioned earlier, it does line up pretty well.
It does, and I think if she sticks it, she'll at least have that stone and then the one she makes contact with in the rings behind that off-center guard that Jamie just threw. But I'd have to believe there might be at least a double, maybe even a triple off the one on the center line for Jamie. We'll see. You could see a lot of rocks move quickly in the next 2 shots.
Yep. Hard, you gotta go. Hard, you gotta go. Yes.
They can push it back here. Oh, that is tight right through the hole.
Now,
unfortunately,
yeah, it sounds like it might have picked out of her hand there. Tough break. We've been fortunate not to have very many picks this week or last week.
we had one on last shot in Kim Rhymes' game.
Oh, I did not realize that.
Yeah, her last shot.
Okay, so on this side, to draw, I would give here. Maybe similar?
Yeah, like just 2.5.
Yeah, 3's not terrible. Okay.
Probably good if she just touches the center line.
Yeah.
Even next to it.
And,
bite center.
With that missed shot, though, there's really not a whole lot of opportunity left for Corey Christensen.
Yeah, 2.5, 3.
Looks like scoring will be difficult.
Speed on this side,
yes.
is it similar?
I think she might be able to run the yellow Jamie through on her first back,
Just,
and there might be a triple there.
Touch center. Yeah. Hairless.
Now Jamie's got to focus on taking the intern side away.
Two's fine.
Sort of her typical intern release, a little
Got
inside
room.
out.
It's got a lot of room.
Line's good.
She should serve her well on this shot.
Line's great. Straight. Doesn't need to move. Doesn't need to move.
Line most important factor here.
Saying it doesn't need to
Sit,
move.
sit.
It
Just
you
leave
want
it.
it to sit down
So I
here.
think it's over curling a little bit.
It will over curl slightly.
Good throw.
Pretty close to what
Good
she
judge,
wanted.
guys. Really good.
I think at this point in the game,
Shouldn't move much, right?
No.
Corey is just going to elect to
There's
maybe
probably
throw this
close.
bump
You
for
got it.
one.
Still tap. What were you thinking?
I was about to say at this point in the game, I think if
one,
she'd all think
right?
she has a
I mean,
chance at
either
2, it's probably worth taking it on. And so they're going to look at this angle run on the intern side.
Yeah.
But looks like they're going to stick with the bump.
Vicky Persinger suggested it, but sounds like did not receive an entirely enthusiastic reception from Corey Christensen. So he's going to look to get 1. Good play, 9 and 10, down 4. Certainly not completely done, but
Close.
not particularly
Whoa,
hopeful.
easy.
Where is it? Clean.
Whoa, no, you can't.
Taylor.
Yeah,
Mark
hanging
has
out
some
there.
curling to do. It will come in here, though.
Yeah, need a big carve from Taylor here.
Going to be a steal of
At least one?
One.
Right? Yeah.
Steal of one.
Good game.
And there are the handshakes, broom taps.
So we're going to, with this game ending in an 8-2 victory with Sinclair, we're going to shift our attention over to sheet 5 when we come back right after this.
USA Curling is committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion in sport. Our new Icebreakers program, created and led by Deborah Martin and Dean Gemmel, will promote strategic outreach by clubs to Black, Indigenous, and populations of color that have been underrepresented in curling. By introducing our amazing sport to new groups, we can create lasting connections that will benefit our clubs and the communities around them. You can find more information about Icebreakers in the Diversity and Inclusion section at usacurling.org. Icebreakers. Share the sport. Elevate the game.
And we're back here with a 8-2 victory for Sinclair over Christensen. Pretty decisive victory there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think both teams probably in that game looking to build on some confidence and beat the team that is considered the other favorite. Those were clearly the two favorites in the field. So I think Sinclair will leave feeling good about that victory, but certainly Corey Christensen's team has the experience to know how to regroup and come back. I expect to see them playing again in the playoffs.
So the score actually here is 6-3, Brian. The score is 6-3. Strouse is up 6-3, sorry. Look at the scoreboard behind our virtual scoreboard. Hasn't been updated just yet.
I have 6-4.
Oh, sorry, 6-4, excuse me. Thank you.
Strouse up 6-4 over Rhyme. We'll update that.
So now we're in the ninth end here. Rhyme has the hammer. Rhyme at 2-1.
Looks like we got Delaney's first coming here. Trying to count rocks.
Delaney Strouse line 2. With the center line guard up.
So Delaney Strouse is at 0-2. Could really use this victory. Could bring Kim Rhyme down a little bit. Going to be necessary.
Yeah, with the 7-team field, certainly every game's an important one.
Not exactly sure what the call was there, but if Kim Rhyme can make a hit and roll here, the shot that Delaney Strouse just made would act as a bit of guard.
As you can see in the scoreboard, tracks are up 6-1 over McMakin. We're on sheet 4.
Traxler with Anna O'Hara throwing last rock.
McBacon at 1-2. Traxler at 0-3. Only 3 teams on the women's side make the playoffs.
7-team field, 3 teams make the playoff. Kim Rhyme looking for a hit and roll here. It's close.
Need to hold the line here.
See if they can hold it. Looks like a fraction too thin.
Big rolls, maybe not that bad.
Just overrolls there, but yeah, I think Delaney's going to have 3/4 to all of this stone.
Actually needed a little bit bigger roll to get behind that corner.
That as well. I think the concern would be if they would potentially be third shot at that point.
So Delaney Strouse will try to make what's currently shot stone belonging to Kim Rhyme leave the rings. That should force Kim Rhyme with a draw to a good chunk of the 8, maybe touch the forefoot to score 1.
Yeah, all Lainey's got to do is eliminate this stone for the force, but I think she's going to try and roll to probably about buried to make the draw as tough as possible. Big sweep here from Becca Rogers.
On it early. Ooh, it looks awfully tight to that guard.
Oh, just rubs it.
And
that's a costly miss. Sort of a gift of a 2 here now for Kim Rhyme to tie the game up as they head to the 10th end.
Yeah, transitioning to some of those inside-out shots can be tough. Can't say I've seen a whole lot of their game, but there's a chance that perhaps they hadn't played that very often throughout the game.
I was saying earlier, I think that inside-out turn there for a right-hander is my favorite shot. Sort of coming straight at it.
I like them too, but I think we're a little unique in that area. I think a lot of people dislike those.
I don't like the in-turn on the other side. That's the one I have to work hard to not get started.
Yes. Oh. Big draw for 2 coming here for Kim Rhyme.
Just keeping it clean.
Keeping it clean, but hesitantly. I think Leah's going to come give this a go here.
Leah Varro, I think, might be able to get
close.
it far enough.
And it sits.
So 2 for Kim Rhyme, ties the game up. Strouse will have the hammer when we come back right after this.
Granite Society recognizes your financial support of the USA Curling Mission by virtue of your loyalty and leadership gifts. Through your Granite Society donation, you inspire continued development of the sport, as USA Curling can fund grassroots growth and development that prepares our nation's athletes to represent Team USA on the world stage, Olympic and Paralympic Games. Join the Granite Society today.
Has moved it off the center line. Would love to roll or shoot it a little further, but good result.
Yep, and Team Rhyme's going to need to make a precise guard here. If this over curls a little bit, gets too close to center line, Becca's going to be able to peel her own rock out here.
So Traxler picks up the victory over on sheet 4, 8-1 over Christine McMakin. Looks like we might get that 8 p.m. Start on time if things work out correctly here.
They'll say it could always be a blank.
Let's not do that. Don't need any extras.
So Rebecca Rogers with her second. Rebecca, I've been informed, began her junior curling career at the Petersham Curling Club in New Hampshire.
Isn't Petersham in Massachusetts?
Or Massachusetts, Joe. Yes. As a director of curling development, I'm going to know that pretty good.
I only know that because I almost...
You played there?
No, I interviewed for a job in that county.
Ah.
Long time ago.
Doesn't quite roll all the way out, but still is not covering any parts of the rings. I'll call that a made shot. Leads don't get to make very many peels. Often they're peels of shame, but I would not call that one. Say peeling a mostly made tick is very unshameful.
There's no shame in peeling the almost made tick.
No. Gonna get a chance to have 2 center guards on the center line here. Team Strouse is going to be asking second Sydney Mullaney to make the double peel here.
Double
Although
peel.
That's going to be a pretty difficult double peel.
It is.
That was a well-made shot.
You attack this on the low side here.
I think they're still trying high, but
yeah,
I could be mistaken.
You're right.
Just going to get the one, but I think Kay's going to be hard-pressed to make another good guard here. But we'll have the opportunity to make it even tougher.
So we talked about the 8 p.m. draw, Fenton versus our guest Violet here. We got 4 games tomorrow too. So Rhyme McMakin 8 a.m. Central, Corbett Dunham noon, Sinclair and Bear 4 p.m. and Dropkin Ruinin at 8 p.m.
So 8 p.m. matchup, certainly a big one on the men's side, as is tonight when we see Luke Violet here take on Riley Fenton.
That guard just slipping a little deep here, so Sydney's going to get a redemption shot here. This one's a lot more makeable than her first.
This is Sydney Mullaney.
Looks like about 2/3 will get it done. Hard early.
Not wide. And made.
And nice shot.
So a pretty good situation here for Delaney Strouse now.
Yep.
Another center guard called.
Earl Morris always says double peels win games.
That they do.
Although so does Skips last.
Yes, usually Skips last.
Skips last is pretty essential to winning games.
But, you know, double peels along the way are much appreciated.
Dean, you like to be up 4. I like to not have to throw my last.
Yeah, sure. I didn't say I wanted to throw my last when I was up 4 either, Joe.
It's like good old contact for the win is my favorite. Oh. A little debris in the ice there. They're going to clear.
Katie Rhyme taking care of that.
I will say I'm somewhat surprised Laney's sticking with the out turn here.
Yeah, there is a possibility to jam that over there. Onto the other yellow and spill it in. If you get really unlucky.
Close to that.
You're really unlucky. You might spill it right close to the...
And there it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
do you throw a guard high on top of that, or you come around? What are you thinking?
I like right where she's stabbing her broom there.
Yeah, a little more careful thought there.
Just want to start to inch your way closer to the center line here if you can. You don't want to make the double teal too easy, but you also want to cover a little more of the center.
So, Kim Ryan back in business with that.
Sweepers slow to the clean here.
To leave some separation. It looks like it might be a little tight.
No. So I think Leah's going to get a redemption shot here. The double peel.
This double peel. Now it's natural with the out turn.
Yeah, pretty similar spot to Sydney's, I think. Right out of the hack.
Didn't waste much time getting this on its way. Looks close to a nose, though.
Oh.
Well, no, much better.
Yeah. Not perfect, but certainly improves the situation substantially.
Yeah.
I'll say it's important that they save every last of their 8 minutes and 15 seconds here. Team Rhyme's a little tighter on the clock at 2 minutes and 13 seconds and ticking down, but still plenty of time for both teams.
2 shots to come for Rhyme. This is Kim Rhyme's first in the 10th end. She's going to call a timeout here. I don't know if that means her coach, her father, Bill Rhyme, will come out, or if they're just going to use a bit of extra time.
I think this is interesting because I'm not sure the entire team realized that the timeout was being called.
It was an unusual place to call the timeout. Oh, now Bill Rhyme is going to make his way down the ice.
Looked like Kim was about in the hack and ready to throw.
Yeah, that's not usually when you see a timeout called.
But we'll see. I wasn't... what did she have the stick down for, Dean?
I didn't know, to be honest.
Me either.
So maybe that's why she called the timeout. She didn't know what shot she was going to throw, Luke.
I hope she knew what that shot she was throwing, but you know.
I think Bill Rhyme's going to arrive there in about 5 seconds as we're counting down with the clock in the back.
Yep, just used all the travel time there. Very efficient.
Now he's got a well played.
Yep. Bill's an expert at maximizing his travel time.
You don't have mics on these players, so
you have to guess what they're saying here. I think they're discussing coming around Leah's shooter there from her double peel attempt.
That looks what, from that ice, that's what it looks like they're going to do.
Yep.
Certainly a good option here, I think.
Absolutely. You know, I think if you make this good, Laney's going to have to make some sort of precise shot to chase it or peel, and if that's missed, then you'll have a chance to throw one top 8 on the center line and make Laney's draw a little more difficult on her last.
I think you would like to force Laney to draw, be drawing against a loss.
Yep. I would say today it did not substantially, but it fudged up a little bit for us. So I think, and it was about the first draw that I'd say there was anything significant. So especially if Laney hasn't thrown a whole lot of draws late in the game, it might be a little more challenging than in previous draws.
Might be a hair deep, but
Yep, and Leah's right there to get it back as far as she can. No.
Delaney is
No.
calling a timeout. Yeah, they have.
Let's see what Coach Courtney George has to say. And she might not say anything at all. I think she's gonna maximize her travel time. She's got what, 55 seconds to travel about 10 feet.
I don't even think she technically really needs to get up. She could
She
just
doesn't.
stand up.
She really could stand up, as she has.
There she goes.
Nope.
She's well bundled, too. You can't even recognize her.
Courtney known to always be rocking something colorful. The beanie being no exception. Well, this is, I mean, there's not, an obvious call here, but for good reason. I'd say I think they could just peel the guard, but then they're going to be looking at throwing against 2, which doesn't really matter, right? It's tied with, so throwing against multiples doesn't mean anything. If they do choose to play any sort of draw anywhere, there's always the chance that Team Rhyme could use that against them. So those are generally riskier shots in this situation. Could also try to chase that stone, but it is back 12 foot and not doing a whole lot of harm to them at this point. So might be a lot of risk of rolling towards the center and that playing the chase.
Judging from the motions, I think they've elected to play the peel.
Yep.
I think the peel's a good shot here.
Absolutely. I think this is what I would call.
No reason to chase that one.
You're happy enough with the situation in the house, you don't need to roll this in, right?
Exactly. Yeah, no, I think the worst possible situation here would be hitting this stone and rolling to a center guard.
So, Delaney Strouse will throw the out-turn peel.
I think back on it early.
Need to be on the high side here.
Might make the run back.
I was going to say, there is a chance of that.
And touches it, but does not remove it from play.
And still leaves this guard, so.
My guess is that it's a little bit closer to the center line. So, yeah, it's, not ideal, but she's still going to have the full 4 foot to draw to. So
She has shrunk the scoring area a little bit, however, as you point out. She had the full 8 foot just before.
Was a bit of a bad break. I mean, quite frankly, actually probably would have rather completely missed the stone. But, it's in the job description of being a skip at this level to have the 4 foot in your back pocket, as they say. And so I'm pretty sure Laney has, at this point, fully committed to the in-turn draw.
Starting to sound like a coach.
Hopefully there's a long time before I have to start thinking about that.
Kim Rhyme trying to bury this rock. She doesn't have to fully bury it, actually.
Yep, I think usually just about half buried, right? Because it's very rare that teams elect to chase these stones, and you're going to want to shrink the rings as much as possible. And so
Weight looks pretty good.
They are sweeping the curl, but I think they do want to keep it straight at this point. And they will grab most of the 8 foot.
So full 8 foot for the win for Delaney Strouse.
Notice she's taking substantially more ice than we were seeing in our game earlier. Sinclair versus Christensen.
This was the sheet you were on just before, isn't it?
It is. It's also substantially more ice than we were taking. But she could just be playing it safe and maybe only drawing it as a 4 foot. But really those rocks aren't anywhere close, so I would hope that she's taking ice to get to the center line here. I'd say we were taking actually about middle of the 8 foot.
See if the slide path is a little broken down. She could ride some good ice and then have it come into the fudge.
Likely be part of her strategy.
I've also sometimes seen people get out in good stuff and have it slip deep. So
it's the big thing is playing what you're familiar with.
Rock's on its way. They're sweeping it now. Rebecca Rogers and Sydney Mullaney. Looks pretty close.
Sydney's closer to the stone here. Just walking it in. They seem very confident.
Looks to be good.
And that will rest.
There you go.
Great
Well
shot.
done by Delaney Strouse for the win.
So Strouse picks up the victory. There are no winless teams left in the women's field. And with that, we're going to sign off. Thanks to Luke Violette for pitching in here for the 4 p.m. draw. He's got an 8 p.m. draw. He's going to be on the feature against Riley Fenson. For Dean Gemmel and B.A. Brian Anderson, we'll sign off. We'll see you at 8 p.m.